The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
What day is it today?
It's Wednesday.
About halfway there.
Till the weekend.
Breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago.
Oh, another one just hit. Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision. Can you see it? I can see it on the shot.
Oh, my.
Something else has
You know what? We just saw a plane circling the
747.
building a second ago on the shot right before
I
that.
think there may have been another impact. Can you tell? I just heard another very loud bang and a very large plane.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
September 11th. Always a day for reflection, remembrance. If you're old enough, then you know. It was a surreal morning. 23 years ago now. And, you know, for many years after 9/11, there were T-shirts and bumper stickers everywhere and such that said, never forget. If you were alive and aware on September 11th, 2001, how could you ever? Mm-hmm. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. And thanks for your patience with the show being off yesterday. I had to hit up a celebration of life. It was a great day and a great party. And by damn, here we are now, and we're going to do our best to stick it out till the bitter end of this work week. The bitter end, Josh.
I'm excited to be back.
Are you happy to be back?
Can you diagnose me with something? I'm very excited to be back. Maybe it has something to do with yesterday I did this training the entire day, which, I didn't mind. I like some of that stuff I like to do. But
training.
I was just thinking this morning how excited I am to be back with you guys.
Well, what did you have, some Red Bull or something?
Well, I did have, yeah. So my wife has this new, well, not new. It's something she's been drinking for a while. It's a... supposedly a healthy energy drink, right?
Yeah.
It tastes terrible.
Those are all the rage.
Those are bomb. I love those.
Do you really? Yeah. Oh, I hate them. I think they're so gross. I like the ones that are pure motor oil.
Yeah. You're just chugging that one down like, ooh.
Yeah, and I don't really drink too many of these things.
Has it made you feel funny?
A little bit. I'm a little amped.
Well, no, we're happy to see. I'm happy to be back with you. We're all happy to be back together.
See, it's got what it says here, Nick, essential energy. I mean, it really is essential having energy,
good.
Isn't it?
That sounds like the good stuff.
Yeah.
It does when it says essential energy.
So it's really gross, but yeah, it's got me amped to see you guys. All right, good. I thought it was maybe a deficiency I was having this morning.
No, you're all right. You're all right, Cubby, by God. But we're going to be here if we can... If everything plays out correctly, we'll be here for the rest of the work week.
Uh-oh, I'm having a caffeine crash. I want to go home. I want to get out of here.
It was a good run, Josh.
Why am I still here?
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
just
I crashed.
Up, you go way, way up, and then you just come crashing down to earth?
God darn it, I want to get out of here.
You don't look so good.
This stuff doesn't last very long.
You realize you have a nosebleed, right?
Suddenly you look like garbage.
Yeah, I look like 11 from Stranger Things right now. My nose is just bleeding from some telekinesis.
I'll tell you what. Later on, we're going to get into a detailed conversation on last night's presidential debate.
Oh, I can't wait.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I woke up to some pretty fun texts from... I can't do that to myself. I just can't do it. But I woke up to some pretty funny texts from friends... with their review of how things went last night.
Great.
Yeah, I told the fiance, if you want to watch it, you're on your own. I'll be in the basement watching sports.
Did she watch it?
She did.
What were you watching, like the Twins game or something?
Yeah, there's some soccer on as well.
And you chose that over the debates?
Yeah. That's how you know it was rough, that I chose soccer over the debate.
There was some soccer on, he says. Hey, how many of you have ever been to one of these Comic Cons? These new get-togethers that have become popular in the last 10, 15 years. how many different kinds of cons are there now?
Oh, there's a ton.
Oh, yeah.
I've been con adjacent, where I've been places that there was some going on, and I got to see some of the people, and that's so much fun. And my God, is that like Halloween? That is an excuse to dress like a slut, whether you're a man or a woman. They really sex it up.
We went walking through one of them once.
We were adjacent because we had our Average Show car show at the same place that was hosting one. I think that was the first one I'd ever seen.
Oh, man. I mean, it used to be comic book related. Wasn't that how it started? And horror movie related. And now it's just every damn thing. And there's sci-fi get-togethers and furries and video games.
Even ones for just your favorite show, right? They'll have a specific con for a specific television show.
So aside from,
movie.
like you said, aside from being adjacent to one of these cons, which is short for convention, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Aside from being adjacent, I just hear about them now and again, read about them now and again, and this information was handed to me earlier this morning. And this is what makes these type of events so interesting to me, is the cast of characters the cast of celebrities who will show up at these bizarro events. So there's something next month called Twin Cities Con, and here's what makes these events so much fun. On the list of celebrities planning to make an appearance, on the same list here, Josh, we've got Lou Diamond Phillips and Danhausen.
Yeah, baby.
I like Lou Diamond Phillips.
And I love Danhausen.
Chavez Chavez from the Young Guns documentaries, and AEW wrestler Danhausen. They'll be
Hayden Christensen's going to be there. I think that'll be a big deal for some people.
What does it mean to be Hayden Christensen?
Anakin Skywalker in the Darth Vader. He played, the young Darth Vader. Which, by the way, James Earl Jones died when we were gone. That's too bad.
Oh, Christ!
I love James Earl Jones.
too.
I don't know if we're going to. How much we would get to it. I pulled a bunch of clips from him, but...
I'd be willing to talk about James Earl Jones as long as you can stand it. Yeah.
93 years old. Just a legend. Absolute legend. And some of my all-time favorite movies, obviously the original Star Wars trilogy, or some of my favorites.
Where he was the voice of Darth Vader, but that wasn't him inside the suit?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
And then from, voicing... I forgot the character's name in The Lion King now.
Never saw it.
Mufasa.
Yeah, Mufasa. Field of Dreams, Coming to America. I mean,
Sandlot.
That guy was a part of so many of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he was a keeper. Where did he get those pipes?
Yeah, it's some people you could tell it's like, oh, they got that from cartons of cigarettes, right? I don't know if that's his case.
He was born with pipes. Boy, he was 93, huh?
Yeah.
So maybe we can look into this Twin Cities Con. We'll get Lou Diamond Phillips to call us. I don't know. You're a fan, Josh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think he's great. I wonder why he's not in more stuff, or maybe he's in a NCIS, one of those huge shows that I haven't watched.
Yeah, there's so many friggin' shows. Speaking of television, Josh, go ahead. What's your favorite game show?
I don't really watch them anymore. For a long time...
I mean, it could be from way back. It doesn't have to be...
Okay, of all time, The Price is Right. Bob Barker's version of The Price is Right.
Price is Right.
After he left, I haven't watched it.
You watched that because of the hot mamas.
Yeah.
There were some babes.
And that was something that, I have fond memories because, in the summers... We'd watch that with in the commune I grew up in, my grandma was there, the matriarch.
Barker was a pimp, too.
Oh, yeah, total stud. We'd watch that. And I thought, you know what, if I ever have a pet, I'm going to make sure it's spaded or neutered, just like he tells us at the end of every show.
When your grandmothers would watch Bob Barker with you on television, did they squirm in their seats a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so did I. I mean, and the games like Plinko and the yodeling guy.
Oh, the
those
yodel
were so
dude.
much fun.
I never was a big Price is Right guy, and I know nothing of today's game shows. But going back to when I was a kid, Tic-Tac-Doe was easy enough for me. and Wink Martindale was enjoyable to watch on television.
All those the hosts were so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some others from the
Wheel of
70s
Fortune.
and 80s. Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah,
I used to like that.
Never
when I was
got
younger.
into it.
It was okay.
Never got into it.
Family Feud's always good.
Family Feud back in the day with Richard Dawson was, sure, that was wildly popular. And I know
That's the one I was going to say is most recently. It's been a few years, but we used to watch Family Feud every night.
Boy, there's got to be one or another, too, that I'm just forgetting.
Do you guys ever like Lingo?
Oh, I watched Lingo back in the day.
Never saw it.
I'm not even sure I know what that is.
I was a fan of Lingo.
Okay,
Never,
fun one.
ever.
I watched a little bit of the one where you have some suitcases and then you got to like...
Deal or No Deal?
Yeah, Deal or No Deal.
Oh, that was fun. I loved watching that.
They have that in arcades now, so they hook kids trying to get tickets on that.
Yeah, and I always play it. I love that game in the arcades.
Says here, watching game shows is good for your brain.
I can see that. Kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit.
You know, okay, the Jeopardy, for example, that one, it's like kind of fun, but I can't say I know any of the answers.
Never
so
cared
dumb.
for it.
No.
Never cared for Jeopardy at all.
Feel
Are
so
you smarter
stupid
than a
watching
fifth
it.
grader?
Same thing.
Are you smarter
I've
than
learned I am not smarter than a fifth grader.
I forgot about that one.
I used to have that as like I think it was a game for my Nintendo DS. I can't remember what console it was, but I played the heck out of that.
I like the
about the-
Newlywed Game. I loved that game.
Oh, yeah, that could be fun. The $10,000 Pyramid
Watched
just
a
crossed
little
my
of that.
mind.
Yeah, that was fun.
Dick Clark, I think, hosted that, didn't he? Was that Dick Clark?
I'm not sure. What about Hollywood Squares? I watched the heck out of that.
I never cared for that one either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even though as much as I loved What's-His-Nuts, who was so funny
The guy
there,
in the middle?
Paul Lind.
He was hilarious. I was pretty disappointed though, and I was a kid, I didn't know any better. Where I'm like, how are these guys so quick? And not realizing that, it's all set up.
Yeah,
that
it's
sucks.
scripted.
Here's the one that I forgot, the match game.
Yes, that was just about to bring that up. Especially the ones in the 70s, I still catch those reruns on Game Show Network anytime I can.
All of the celebrity guests were drunk. Mm-hmm. They spent all afternoon drinking, and then they turned the cameras on, and it was a riot, the match game. If you're too young, check it out. It's like Dana said, especially the ones from the 70s with...
Gene Rayburn?
Well, sure, but I was trying to come up with the celebrities who were regulars there. What the hell
Lou
is this?
Diamond Phillips, Danhausen.
That's pretty much it.
What about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I watched that. I love Regis.
Never saw it.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
After
yeah,
Regis, I didn't watch.
I liked when Katie Couric, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I liked when she took over too.
So watching game shows is good for your brains. It'll help boost your problem-solving skills, improve your memory, strengthen your mind.
Yeah, my wife is good at all those, especially Family Feud. And I've told this before, but there's times I'm looking at her like, you are the dumbest person on the planet. If you think anybody said ding, like, how did somebody say that? She can, I don't know if it's, she's a sociologist, a psychologist, I don't know what's going on, but she'll come up with these ridiculous answers that happened. That's the number one answer. Like, how did that happen? It just seems so stupid.
Your wife would be so good at stealing when you have to just get the one answer right. No, why would you say that? That is not a good answer. All right, good answer, good answer.
I'm telling you, if you ever win or decide to go on a game show, put her on your team. It's almost frustrating how she gets, because there's so many times that I thought, well, I married a moron. And then all of a sudden, ding.
Yeah, you've mentioned before, I think, that if your old lady put together a team for Family Feud, you think that they'd whoop ass.
Yeah, and Uno.
Because of the strength of your wife's game show skills.
She dominates that in cards. Like, we played Uno a couple weeks back. There was one time where she had to draw 27 cards. Oh. 27, because I think she shuffled poorly, but she got herself. 27 cards, she came back and won.
She got herself out of it?
And then when she was at the cabin, I forgot the game they were playing. There was some game they were playing, and her and my stepson, she was down by like 200 points, she was saying, and she came back and won.
When I was a young kid, second grade, I think, a gal in my school, one of my classmates, her family appeared on Family Feud, and this was in the 70s. This was when Richard Dawson was hosting the show, and it was off the charts popular.
Gosh, what a time to be on that show.
Oh, yeah. When I found out that my classmate's family was going to be on Family Feud, I was just convinced that they were the Osmonds. You know what I mean? I was convinced that they were the
especially back then.
They were the most important family in all of America. And then being a stupid little kid, when the day comes where, don't miss it, Thursday's the day that my family's going to be on Family Feud. I was completely thrown by the fact that my classmate wasn't part of the show. You know what I mean? Wasn't on the panel. It didn't dawn on me that she's a friggin' second grader. And, I thought for sure I was going to see her. This is Mom, Dad, Uncle Donnie, Aunt Missy, and here's me. I don't know. I assumed a second grader would be put on the show, but obviously she was not.
Real Dirt Nasty Jesus said, what about American Gladiators? Would you consider that a game show?
No.
I guess I don't know.
That wasn't a game show.
I watched that. What about Double Dare?
Oh,
Never
I loved
saw
Double Dare back in the day.
Cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of fun on
one of my
Nickelodeon.
neighbors had cable, and that's something we'd watch over there.
So here you go. It's good for your brains, including, like I already mentioned, your problem-solving skills, but also good for your mental health. It lends a bit of comfort as well, emotionally. Game shows are good for you. And I totally understand everything that they're saying here. I watch a lot of old television shows. The other day I was watching MASH, and I watch Different Strokes, and I watch Cheers, and I watch all 70s and 80s stuff. I don't give two pumps about what's going on these days. My wife, friggin' wife that I have now for almost a year. Have you met her, Josh?
Your wife?
Yeah.
We cover this quite often. I've known her for decades. Decades.
So she has this theory about me as to why I only watch old television shows. Because it gives me comfort in knowing how it ends. She pretends to be this amateur psychologist character now and again. And I often tell her, well, I remember this program, but I don't remember how it ends. But she thinks that there's something behind why I watch all these old shows. Something about knowing how it ends is comforting to me.
That makes sense.
I would think it's just the nostalgia.
Yeah,
for me,
that's all it is.
Yeah, sometimes I'll watch shows and go, wow, this was really terrible, but it reminds me of, my childhood or brings back some good memories.
So she tries to play those little games with me and figure me out. Now, of course, yes, I do remember this old episode of The Cosby Show where Theo has bad grades, but I don't remember how it ends.
By the way,
I remember that Theo was in trouble with Cliff, but I don't remember how it ends.
Theo just showed up on a new show my wife and I are trying. Just showed up, the episode probably aired 5-6 years ago. But yeah, there's Malcolm Jamal Warner right there. And he's a dick.
Oh!
Yeah, you're not used to seeing that.
So there you go. A lot of people are texting in their favorite game shows and this and that. Man, there have been a lot over the years.
I'm not fat, I'm aerodynamic. Jesus said, I love that old game show called Cops. Yeah, that's not a game show.
That's an F around and find out show.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who lose that game by their own accord.
Oh, man. Fear factor, love, connection.
A lot of people are texting and press your luck. I've never seen that, and I don't know.
Never saw it.
Never heard of it.
What is press your luck?
Isn't that the old
Big money, no whammies.
Yeah, the old whammy game.
I'm sorry, I still don't know.
Oh, dude,
It's a big red board, and you hit the button to stop, and you hope it's on big bucks and not a whammy.
If
I've
it's
heard
a whammy,
the punchline.
they drop like pizza dough or something stupid on your head.
Yep, they always have that on at bars.
Oh, really?
I've heard the punchline "no whammy" for decades, and I never picked up on it.
And there's a documentary about a guy in the 70s, I believe, who memorized the patterns of the board and basically just broke the game. He went on there and won a couple $1 million because he recognized the patterns of how it flashed and when to hit the button.
That's badass. I like when people do that.
By recording the show and rewatching it over and over again to see how the board changed and the different patterns it would go on.
The way you've described that, it's different, but it kind of reminds me of another game I really liked on The Price is Right. The one where you'd punch through.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd see what's on the inside, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Wasn't there someone that found out all the prices on The Price is Right, too? So they were just winning everything?
It's another documentary called The Perfect Bid. The guy taped every episode, and because they reuse the same prizes. So he would know how much that dishwasher cost, how much, everything that cost, and he got a perfect bid, and they originally they thought that there must have been some type of insider knowledge, a producer on the show leaked him what the number was, but no, the dude just memorized everything.
I saw a little bit of that. Yeah, it's a hell of a deal. They put on some good shows, and they still do, I'm sure. I'm just not tuned into it, but a lot of backstage drinking and cocaine.
Yeah, those were wild. A lot of that stuff wouldn't fly today. Richard Dawson's like, hold on, I'm going to make out with your wife.
I know.
Now I'm going to make out with your daughter, your mother. I'm making out with everybody.
If you willingly brought your family on the Family Feud in the Richard Dawson era, there's a good chance that he might be your new stepdad.
And there were old episodes of the Family Feud with Richard Dawson where it was absolutely obvious that he got to the set 5 minutes before showtime. And he is so sunstroked in a lot of those. He is, you can tell, they rolled him off of a beach and put a suit on him. And it saw that his blood alcohol content was about 0.23 and said, action. He is so brutally sunbeaten from just laying on a beach all day long with 20-year-olds. What a life the man led.
A buddy of mine, he went on vacation. He just came back. I saw him yesterday, and he was so tan. The first words out of my mouth were, "What the hell?"
Did you pass out?
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't know a white guy could do that. My God, he was just so tan.
Beautiful. He looked beautiful?
Oh, yeah. Glowing. He could be in a commercial. They'd have to do a lot of photoshopping to his face structure and stuff like that, but outside of that, he could be in a commercial.
Well, yeah, some lucky bastards can turn out that way. All right, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder are going to join us in about an hour and a half. We get another opportunity for someone to jump on our Rock the River cruise. Be listening for that. Oh, damn. Other than that, we're just going to lay on the beach and drink.
Get as tan as possible.
And wait for someone to say, showtime. What else is going on, Josh? Am I missing anything?
I think that's everything, right?
It better be. Squid Games? What the hell is that?
A Netflix show.
I don't want to know.
Oh, I know you've heard of it. It was absolutely gigantic when that first came out.
Few people texted in Squid Games.
And there is a Squid Game now.
Yeah.
There are. I don't know. Do they do that here or is that overseas? I can't remember. But
I don't know where it is, but I remember I watched it, and I was actually kind of intrigued by it. There's so many backstabbers in that game. It was so cool.
I watched like part of the first episode where some dude gets his ass kicked at a urinal, and after that I stopped.
Yeah.
Kind of by Dana's advice. Dana's like, this isn't your show.
It was a little too dark for you, I think, Josh. You're too wholesome for something like that.
I don't need that darkness in my life. No, I'll stay away from those types of shows.
It rings a bell. I remember you guys talking about it. You can fill me in off there. I really liked Name That Tune when I was a kid. And isn't there a modern version of that?
Yeah, Shazam.
It's called Shazam.
Yeah,
it's called Beat Shazam.
Wait, which is the one with Jimmy Fallon? Is that the one? Because he does that one where like people sing karaoke or whatever.
Oh, that must be a different one.
That's a different one. Beat Shazam it's like Name That Tune. Like you have to get it within like a couple seconds.
Are you saying beat or beach?
Beat Shazam.
Yeah, at first it sounded like beat, and then it sounded like beach. So is it the same as you I can do this in 2 notes, I can do this in 3 notes, or how do they do it?
They start playing a song, and then you kind of hit the button, and then say what you think it is.
Oh, okay.
Try to beat
so
the
it's
other
like head
team.
to head.
Yeah.
If it's Kiss, I'll win.
Yeah, you were amazing at that.
If it's
and by the way, the one you missed, you gave it to the other guy.
I did.
I saw it happen.
Yep.
You kind of even looked at me like, should I give it to him? And you gave it to him.
You know what happened, Cubby? I took a dive.
You did.
Yep.
That's nice of you.
You missed one, and I swear to God, on my kids, I saw you kind of gave me a should I just let him have one? And you let him have one.
Years ago, we played Kiss, Name That Tune, and I eviscerated my opponent. Johnny, take a dive. What movie, Johnny Dangerously, what year, 1984?
Haven't seen that one.
What the hell's the matter with you? We got to get going.
Where do I start?
You're a hell of a crowd. We appreciate you being there. We'll take a break and come back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Lois Lane's here. Erica Durant's. Hi, Erica. It had to be nerve-wracking. What was your first reaction?
When I first read it, of course, they included the part of the scene where Lois gets up there and she thinks she's doing really great, and then she bails on stage. It was supposed to be comedic, but then they just cut out the comedy, and then I just looked like a stripper, which isn't a bad thing, but it wasn't what my aim was.
Binge seasons 1 through 4 of Talkville before season 5 begins, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, I'm sure you remember a few minutes ago we were talking about, we were talking about Comic Cons and sci-fi cons, and help me out again because we covered a few. There's all these conventions now where you dress up and you go bananas.
Decepticons, that came up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? There's a Comic Con coming to town or something. They're everywhere these days. Got a text from Masshole Sheezes. And she says she's going to something called Horror Con this weekend. So get back to us, Masshole Sheezes.
Is that here or are we talking Massachusetts?
I didn't ask.
Yeah, I'm asking her.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Get back to us, Masshole Sheezes. Okay, Josh wants to know where this is happening. Horror Con. And I want to know, are you going dressed up as a scary character? Who are you going as?
And is it a sexy one? You know, because like I said, a lot of those, it's an excuse to dress all sexy.
Right. You could go the slutty route. You could go the legitimate scary route.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably in Minneapolis. Crypticon. That's this weekend.
Okay. She called it Horror Con.
Huh.
You didn't hear that twice? 3 times
No,
now.
I did, but I was just wondering if...
It's the first thing you pops up when you type in HorrorCon Twin Cities.
You know who I think is damn scary? Brittany Mahomes.
Oh!
Yeah.
She's something, isn't she?
She scares the hell out of me. Doesn't she kind of come off like the type where if you break up with her, she covers herself in her own feces and attacks you with a straight blade and she's nude?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Dude, she gives me those vibes so hard. That
you
is
don't
perfect.
just agree with half of that. You're 100% on board with that.
Yeah, I don't know that that's kind of how she is, but whatever it is she does it better than the rest of us.
Yeah.
She's earned her clout.
Oh, definitely.
There's one in Massachusetts this weekend, too. A type of horror con.
Well, she just has to get back to us. Her name is Masshole Sheezes. Where the hell are you going?
Because we want to go.
Yeah, we're coming with.
It's killing us. None of us are going. And who are you going as? You guys give me a scary character now, Josh. You give me a scary character.
Well, I'll tell you what. A buddy of mine, he invented one called Vapor. And he's very creative. He's the same guy who invented a contraption that you could insert into your couch to hump it. Your mattress, between your mattresses. He made a whole contraption. And he was so genius that he would sell this in high school. If you didn't want to buy the actual contraption, he'd sell you the plans, as a matter of fact, so you can make your own.
That's an unglued character right there.
Oh, he's awesome. But so he came up with this thing, Vapor, and every year he'd add on to the mystique and the character of this horror character, Vapor, and he would win Halloween costume contest. I think he won 3 years in a row.
Wow. I'll tell you, there was a night where Josh literally sent a chill down the spine of everyone in our group because he was so scary. I know you're looking at him right now going, Cubby? who the hell is he going to scare? He's the nicest guy in town. But Josh will remember this. We were at, and here, I know, I'm sorry, I'm contributing to the problem. Here we are on September 11th, and we're already, Halloween has already entered the conversation. It's not my fault. Someone started it a few days ago. It's ridiculous, but here we are. A few years ago, 10 years ago maybe, Josh and I and a group of people went to one of these haunted hayride, walk around in the dark type scenarios. I don't remember where we were or what it's called. It doesn't matter. There's dozens of them now. Where they got a haunted hayride and a few haunted houses. You recall this, don't you, Josh?
Yep.
And
that's one of those places where I was pretending I wasn't scared, but I was scared.
Yeah. We did end up holding hands.
They knew what they were doing at that place. That's where that scary clown called me a laughing bitch.
Yes, he did.
That's my favorite story.
I was, I was nervous, and he surprised me, and I just started laughing. I'm like, oh, my God, this guy scared the crap out of me. And he says, what are you laughing at, you laughing bitch? Right in my face. And then, of course, I had to laugh more.
So, of all the scary things going on, the hayride, someone chased us with a chainsaw. This haunted house had a dozen scary characters. The next one had a dozen characters that were even more horrifying. Josh was the one who sent a real chill, a legit chill, down everyone's spine that evening. We were walking from one haunted house to the next, and someone said something about scared this, scary that. And Josh said, you want to talk scary? Has anyone seen the nutritional values of the food that's served to our children these days at public schools?
I did say that. By the way, I have no idea. I'm sure it's healthy. I just threw that out there. Do you remember, too, I had a strategy on the hayride. I somehow, it's weird how this would happen on the hayrides we've taken. I would end up in the middle.
Right.
Somehow I wasn't on either side. Casually I'd make this happen. But they figured it out. I didn't know that they were aware of this, the guys and gals that work at this. And the chainsaw guy would go right for the middle because they know that's the weakling.
Those
right
are
there.
the scared people,
Yep.
the ones who are surrounding themselves with others by sitting in the middle.
Yep.
Every hayride we went on, it would be like, hey, everyone, welcome to the Weep. And Josh was already sitting in the middle of the... before anyone else was invited to actually physically get on the trailer, Josh, boop, he's in the middle. Remember that scene from the Titanic where the douchebag guy, even though he hears women and children first, he gets on one of the lifeboats?
Yeah.
That was Josh for the hayride.
That's true. I was covering myself in little kids' face, human shields.
Just do. I'm not moving towards the boat. I'm not. The Titanic guy just went, weep.
And
Too late. I'm on a boat now.
I'd have to throw people off the scent by pointing out folks that definitely look scared. Look at that person. They don't realize this is all fake. Why are they so scared?
Mm-hmm.
I do love those things, but I'd be lying if I said I don't have a little twinge of nervousness.
You get a little scared, and that's okay, and that's why we held hands. I'm searching my text machine here to see if Masshole She's has got back to us on her character for Horror Con, and a lot of you are making jokes about that horror. No, it's Horror Con.
She has
She
not.
hasn't said
I just
Dick
looked
Tracy.
her up.
We'll find out. We'll shake it out of her before the end of the show, I guarantee it. All right, to head towards the stupid news, we got to start somewhere. Here's a weird one. Maybe some of you will find this scary. In San Diego, California, there's a dude who hangs out in a park over there, and he blows bubbles for the children. And don't even come at me with the joke about the dog named Bubbles. Don't. What are you crumpling up? Did you write a joke about the dog that you did?
Yeah, I did. God dang it. It was so good.
Don't even start with the joke about the dog named Bubbles. There's a dude who
You know
hangs...
what sucks about this bit? I need this piece of paper, but I crumpled it for comedy. What an idiot.
It's pretty good shape.
I'll print a new one.
Dude hangs out in a park and he blows bubbles for the children. The dude goes by the name of Sandy Snakenberg.
That can't be a real name.
That's his real name. Sandy Snakenberg. But you know what? You know what they call him in the neighborhood? They call him the Bubble Pirate. He's been blowing bubbles in public parks for years. Is that nightmare fuel for anyone already?
It seems a little odd, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, maybe it's all innocent, and I'm sure it is. And I bet as a kid you see that, you think, wow, that's pretty sweet.
Sandy Snakenberg,
But as a parent, you can just keep one hand on your kid's shoulder, just to keep them safe.
No, don't get too close to the bubble pirate.
We're fine. We can see from
You can see him fine from here. I want to sit with the bubble pirate. You're close enough. Sandy lives out of a van, and he creates his own bubble solution in there. Don't. But a day or two ago, Sandy got himself a littering ticket because of the mess he leaves behind after he's done blowing bubbles. Now, Sandy recorded a video of the encounter he had with the local cops. In the video, by God, there's Sandy blowing his bubbles for the kids. He's in the grass somewhere at the park there. The cops walk up and they told Sandy that there have been multiple complaints against him and that the bubble solution that he leaves behind constitutes littering.
They must be sick of this guy.
They are.
All right, somebody come up with something. We need a loophole to get rid of this guy.
They're so tired of this bit. That's exactly it. There's
a thin soap film running around
There's
here.
really nothing wrong with leaving some soap on the grass, but the whole neighborhood's so sick of this guy's bit. That's got to be it. The cops say that Sandy uses up to 6 gallons of his bubble solution every time he blows bubbles, and it leaves sticky garbage all over the damn place. Chemicals end up in the lawn, and the grass gets killed.
Well, I mean, if it's actually killing... I've never had that issue, but maybe if you're blowing enough bubbles, you could do something like that.
The grass gets killed. If this makes you feel any better for old Sandy, the cops did issue him the lowest level citation available for littering.
That's good.
Cost him $4 or something. Sandy says, yes, Josh?
But, the
bubble pirate.
The price is he's killed the guy's dream. I mean, this is what he loved to do. That's the real price.
That is true.
Maybe they make some environmentally friendly bubble fluid he can blow.
I'm sure they do, yeah.
Sandy says he uses all food-grade ingredients to make his bubble paste, whatever that means. He does not use 6 gallons, Sandy says, and he does not kill the grass. He ain't going anywheres, he says. This is how he makes his living, by damn. I'm a bubbleologist, he says. You're a what now?
I kind of love this guy now.
I've dedicated myself to what I do. Oh, Sandy, you crazy bastard bubble pirate, you.
Just
that's where they set right there now, Josh. That's where we leave now.
I hope there's a follow-up.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen.
Maybe just bite down on an arsenic pill or get rabies. You can just cause some natural bubbles right there. Won't last very long.
Oh, my God.
Don't you hate that? Movies, when they bite into that, and all of a sudden they're bubbling up all that stuff. That's pretty gross to me. It'll kill your grass, too, from what I've heard.
Oh, that's the worst part.
Unbelievable what's going on in, how do you call it, San Diego with Sandy the bubble pirate with the children and the...
Got an update from Masshole Sheezus.
What did she say now?
She will be cosplaying for sure. She's going as Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses. Ash Williams, homemade chainsaw hand and all. And she says, of course, a slutty Michael Myers.
She has 3 different outfits to wear for the event?
Maybe it's a 3-day thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm. She has costume changes like Cher.
That's great.
You can't wear the same costume every day.
House of a Thousand Corpses. I
haven't seen that one.
I think I made it through about half of that one. Rob Zombie movies just piss me off. I'm sorry, but they do.
Well, that's just because they're terrible.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
That's got to be part of it.
That Halloween remake? Come on, man.
Dude. It starts out and 100 people die in like 4 minutes. It's like, what?
I was so excited to see that.
Rob Zombie movies,
Zombie,
they piss me off. And you have a theory again about why they piss me off?
I think it's just because they're so bad.
They're bad? All right.
Yeah. All right, so Masshole Sheezus, she's back. She's back. It's 3 days. That's why she's got 3 outfits, and it's in Massachusetts. But she'd like to go to the one we've got here sometime.
Okay.
All of our answers.
She's in Massachusetts, and she's told us her outfits. We're good now?
Yeah. So, Ashley, are you going to go to the one this weekend, now that you know it's coming?
That sounds like a lot of fun. I might have time to head out there.
It's called Crypticon. It's in Plymouth. I'm looking at the celebrities. The only one I recognize is Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's is going to be there.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Terry Kaiser.
Oh, my God. The Weekend at Bernie's joke, if that doesn't go away pretty soon, I'm going to burn something down. I just am.
I think it would be fun, like, no offense to the celebrities. I don't really care about them. I think it would just be fun to dress up with other fellow horror fans.
Like-minded dorks.
Yeah.
There's so much sex to be had, I bet.
Oh,
don't you think? Things like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I always heard about like the theater kids, the band kids, stuff like that. When you all are like-minded in that way, there's going to be a lot of doing it. And plus, everybody's so provocative.
Oh, I bet there's like fake blood involved too. That's pretty cool.
That's your thing.
probably real blood involved.
Mm-hmm.
These people are crazy, Ashley. They're crazy. Back to Rob Zombie movies. I gotta cut loose on this again. What was that other one called?
The Devil's Rejects?
Yes. Devil's Rejects. I enjoyed the balls off of that one. I couldn't help myself. I had to admit to myself halfway through, even 3/4 through, I really liked it. It was so dark and terrible, and I loved it. And then the closing scene ruined everything. I was having such a good time. And then there was the slow motion death scene while they're driving in their convertible to Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Was it Freebird or was it Tuesday's Gone or what? Which one was it? Freebird?
I
It was
think it was
Freebird.
Freebird.
Yeah. I said to myself, how dare you ruin this friggin' movie, Rob Zombie, you bastard. If I leave here tomorrow. And the slow motion bullet impact to the body. It was so friggin' dumb, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I hate that movie for a completely different reason. In high school, what I thought was a sure thing. I was like, all right, I'm going to take this girl to a scary movie, you know? She got so grossed out by the Devil's Rejects that we had to leave midway through, and she's like, just take me home. Like, I'm so grossed out right now. I was like, God dang it, Rob Zombie.
She should have seen the ending.
Yeah.
She would have laughed her ass off. It would have put her in a good mood again.
Mountain Mayhem Jesus said Rob Zombie did the Munsters, and it was torture. I forgot he did.
Oh, that's right.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
This is not Rob Zombie, but did you guys ever see From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yes.
Mm-mm. Do you remember when Cheech Marin is standing outside the establishment talking about everything you can find there?
Yes.
Oh, my God, that was funny. I wish we could play that.
Yes.
Maybe actually I'll go back now and think, oh, that was wildly inappropriate. But at the time, I remember thinking that was
describing the different kinds of
things you'll find
women.
In there. Yeah.
The different kinds of women you could find in their bar. Okay.
I think one of the times he said Naugahyde. I don't even know what that means. I could guess, I guess.
I don't know what that is either.
When he's describing private parts.
Yes. Women's private parts is specifically what he was talking about.
Animals, I remember, were involved.
How about this now? Some people just straight up get off on complaining. They love to complain about every damn thing that doesn't perfectly match up with their own personal wants, cares, needs, interests, moral and or political values. Let's see what you make of this guy. I don't know where this story comes from. It doesn't matter. England, I believe. A guy visited a place called Monkey Forest. And then he complained that there were, quote, too many monkeys.
That's so awesome. What didn't you like about it? Yeah, way too many monkeys at this monkey-themed event.
And then the dude went over to a website called TripAdvisor to complain. And he made an absolute ass of himself. Too many monkeys, he said, at Monkey Forest.
I'm really hoping this is a bit.
I don't know.
Because I could see, that seems like something your dad would say, right? Like your dad comes home and too many monkeys at this. Seems like a dad joke to me.
Remember your old buddy's complaint when we asked him to do movie reviews for this radio show 20 years ago?
Yeah, and he was right, though.
He was right.
Yeah.
But tell him the story again. This was our beloved pal Marcel, who every day I wake up and I miss Marcel.
Me too. He was one of my favorite. I've worked with him at a restaurant for a long time. He saved my life once. Awesome guy.
He joined us.
Military man. He was a paramedic.
He joined us on this program on and off for a few years.
Yeah.
He was the only person in the building that I didn't want to stab to death. I loved Marcel very much, and I still do. So we
did
asked
some
him,
movie reviews for us.
Well, we wanted to give him something to do. He wanted to fit in and belong, so we gave him a gig. We told him to review some movies for us.
And this is when Angelina Jolie had made the first Tomb Raider, and he came back and he said, I like the movie, but it's called Tomb Raiders, and there's no tombs in it.
That was his takeaway.
Yeah, he wanted to see some tombs.
And really, he really thought he was hitting us with the good stuff when he said that.
Do you remember when, of course you remember, but we ran into him at the State Fair maybe 2 years ago?
We all cried.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't, the reunion of seeing him was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I miss you, Marcel. And your fine wife. Miss her, too. Maybe actually I miss her more. I don't know. It's a toss-up.
She was stacked. Too many monkeys at Monkey Forest. This individual who complained to TripAdvisor said he would have preferred to see a bigger variety of animals.
At Monkey Forest.
Now, the Monkey Forest people were at a loss for words after reading the review on TripAdvisor.
I bet they were.
And here's what they said back to him. Hello? And I think that's pretty much all they need to say.
Yeah, they didn't have to go on after that. Right?
Hello? That's what their reply was. We are Monkey Forest. What in the hell is the matter with you?
I do like seeing some ridiculous complaints, things that are clearly not the fault of the establishment.
Oh, yeah.
People have, right?
Yep.
Kind of like you said when you set up the story, just how people are. And where sometimes the person responding will say, we don't really know how to respond to this. Nobody would ever imagine a complaint would go this way, like the Monkey Forest one.
Mm-hmm.
Cheek Spreader Jesus said, have you seen the review for Dune 2? Someone gave it 1 out of 5 stars on IMDb because it had, quote, too much sand. There was a lot of sand.
Very much so.
This is awesome right here. Kids are stupid. Says here a 4-year-old boy accidentally smashed a 3,500-year-old jar at a museum.
That is a very appropriate time to use the Homer backing into the bushes meme. I can't imagine being that parent thinking, well, we're bankrupt.
I would pretend that I was his babysitter for the day.
I think the other day I said I'd rather go to prison for a weekend than have to go to a boring-ass museum. If you can promise me that a 4-year-old is going to break something 3,500 years old every time I go, that changes my answer. I want to see that. This was a museum in Israel or someplace. This ancient jar dates back to, I don't know, 2200 BC or some stupid time that nobody cares about. 3,500 years old. It was very rare because it was fully intact until the incident. The boy's father said the jar fell to the ground after his son pulled it slightly towards him because he was curious about what was inside, and so smash down onto the friggin' ground.
It is kind of surprising that you could get anywhere near it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why wouldn't it be in glass and stuff like that?
I don't know. They do things differently in Israel, I imagine. And I'm going to guess that this child was the child of a somebody, because the museum's director said, hey, accidents happen.
Yeah, like the biggest donor.
Probably, as opposed to just some regular schmuck and his dirty kid who walked into the museum. I'm guessing this kid was the child of a somebody. Because they said accidents happen. They're going to get out the Gorilla Glue, how do you say that?
Glue?
And see what they can do.
Now, where did this text go? This is from award-winning Stupid Face Jesus. Is this the Stupid Face Jesus?
I think it is.
Oh, it is?
It must be because he won the award for stupidest face 10, 15 years ago.
And then his stupid face was carved out of ice and on our 4th of July booze cruise.
Yeah. Man, you got a stupid face.
Yeah, it is a stupid face, but he makes it work. He said he lived in Texas for 3 years, and it was nice, but there were just too many Texans. Way too many Texans for his liking. See, they should tell you about that. Like, put that on the sign, welcome to Texas. Now, just so you know, full of Texans.
That'll stop you dead in your tracks when you realize it. All right, school's back in, right?
It is.
School is back. Now, as I've mentioned before, I don't have any memory at all of ever taking an ACT or SAT test back in school. If I did, I imagine I probably filled it out in 10 minutes without any effort at all because I had no clue what its purpose was and maybe wouldn't have cared even if I did.
God, that test took so long.
Yeah, it was like a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah.
I must not have done this. I have no memory. So you guys got to help me out with this. I don't speak this language. It says here now, teenage kids are getting bogus ADHD diagnoses to get extra time for their ACT and SAT tests. The word is parents are taking their children to doctors and psychologists to get letters saying they have ADHD or other mental disabilities and then getting as much as 50% more time to take the tests.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
That's a lot of time.
Really interesting. I in college, I had some like extra time. Oh no, in my senior year of high school. Yep, because I had some like extra time on my tests. Because of that reason, like I had trouble focusing, and when it came to taking the ACT, they did not care. They were like, nope, you got to be with everybody else.
So one expert said this scam can mean a 200-point boost to your SAT score. So more or less, the testing system, like damn near everything else we used to hold sacred around here, is being abused. Parents are getting these letters from doctors and psychologists saying, yeah, my kid, he's got a mental he's got a learning problem. And, handing that document over when it comes time for the ACT or SAT test, and their kids get 50% more time to take the test. They get a higher score. They get into a better school.
Weird. My parents never loved me that much to come up with a scam to get me further ahead in life.
Yeah, nowadays, oh God, parents will. Against all odds, they'll defend their children.
There's actually a story going around right now about...
no matter how crooked their children are. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Done. Yeah. There's a story going around right now about a mom who... She wrote the teacher and the school to say, hey, homework is kind of stressing my kid out. Is there a way I can opt my kid out of homework?
Opt him out of homework.
Yeah.
No, we had to do it, so do you, kid.
Can he get an extra day on this?
Now, some parents are... there's a nerd who runs these tests, and he or she said, I get requests for ADHD testing accommodations all the time. Some parents are none too happy when I don't agree that the child has ADHD. So when this guy sees a scam, he calls it out, and then, of course, the parents, some of them who are no more mature than their own children, come unglued. Oh, I can't believe, yes, my child does deserve this and that. One mother of a high school kid was asked about all this, and she said out of her daughter's 8 closest friends, 6 of them got extra time with this gimmick.
That's not right. Oh, my God.
Almost everyone is doing it, she said.
Physics teacher Jesus said there are some doctors here that will do that for you.
If you give them a little cash money?
I tried to do that for window tint. If any cops listening, I have a sun allergy, and it's very difficult to have the sun peer through my windows if there's any cops listening right now. And so I went in there. It's like, I don't do that anymore. I was told this is your guy, right? I thought I was going to jump in the back of a moving van or something, and he's going to write this prescription. I did my darndest, but he wouldn't give me a bogus. I mean, I have this condition.
How
I need those
awkward
tinted
was that
windows.
for you, Josh, when he said no? I could see you just feeling so,
Very
shameful.
I thought, oh no, I hope I didn't insult this guy. But I was told by several people, and I even said ahead of time, hey, I'm coming in for my window tint prescription.
Oh, man.
And it's one of those where I think if I handed the card to the cop, I'd still feel like a douchebag, because we both know what's happening there.
Yeah.
But now I can't even do it.
Do you think the doctor thought you were a narc?
No, he said, I've heard why you would come in here, because he used to do it, but he doesn't do it anymore.
Okay.
But I did get found out I could use some glasses, so I got a nice eye exam out of it. And I think I made a friend.
Wow, what a story. And the climax of the story is you think you made a new friend.
Yeah, you know what?
It's wonderful.
Life's a journey.
Yeah.
And
there's no question about it, yeah.
Sometimes that journey ends in friendship, in the least expected places.
So, what a scam we got going here with these SAT tests and ACT tests. One final quote here says, most students don't have the luxury of going back and checking their work, but if you have 50% more time, that's a game changer. What did you guys say this friggin' gimmick takes 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah, 6, I thought.
So if it's a 6-hour test, they'll give you 3 extra friggin' hours?
Yeah.
Lick me down. People just don't care anymore. Dishonesty isn't something that people are ashamed of anymore. The new ideology is if it gets you ahead in life, do it. And that sucks.
Boy, a lot of people have gone to things where they're disappointed. Dresses like a cowboy, but not a cowboy Jesus, who we met at the state fair one year.
Dresses like a cowboy, but not a cowboy Jesus.
He said, I went to the Minnesota State Fair, the great Minnesota get-together, and there were just way too many people, getting together.
It's it can be troubling.
They do publicize that. There are a lot of people.
All right. We got to get going. I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say again with the Japanese motorized suitcases. But yeah, I have more for you on that subject. A while back, we talked about a lady visiting Japan who got a damn ticket for driving her motorized suitcase recklessly on the sidewalk. The cops, they beat her ass for that. I didn't know about motorized suitcases, but for you folks who like to travel, suckers that you are, what a wonderful invention.
That'd be great.
You scoot your suitcase along, you can sit on the damn thing and go rolling through the airport.
Just in everyday life would be kind of neat. I mean, you could go to the grocery store, pick up a couple of bags of groceries, ride home. You can put it right in there.
Yeah.
You can't do that on an e-bike.
A lady got ticketed for driving her motorized suitcase recklessly on the sidewalk. And she isn't the only person in Japan raising hell on her motorized suitcase. And I imagine it's a hell of a lot of fun to F off on a motorized suitcase. Tourists are getting full of beer. Now, here's the latest. Tourists are getting loaded up on Japanese beer and racing them up and down on the sidewalks nude. All right, they're not nude. But the cops are cracking down for real now. It's become a fun pastime to drink beer, get on your motorized suitcase, and go up and down the streets of Tokyo singing Mr. Big songs at the top of your lungs. So the cops are getting serious about this. Riders of motorized luggage require now safety equipment and a driver's license. This is so stupid.
That's silly.
Well, got to get my helmet out for my traveling suitcase.
2 major Japanese airports have already told folks not to ride them inside the airport. It's lame.
That's why they were invented, though.
And by the way, it says here that motorized suitcases have been popularized by celebrities like Paris Hilton and something called Shilpa Shetty. Oh, the A-listers, I see. Does anyone know what it means when I say Shilpa Shetty?
Nope.
Fair enough.
She's, I think she's like a Bollywood star, maybe. I thought I'd heard of her before in a different story.
So if I ever see you on your motorized suitcase, Josh, I'm going to say, who do you think you are? Paris, how did you say her name? Paris Hilton and Shilpa
Shetty.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Some maniac has attacked America
attacked innocent men, women, and children. These people had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. We're running this show tonight because we're going to show you that you cannot break, you cannot even bend the fiber, the backbone of the United States of America. There's going to be some critics that wonder why we run this show. I want to make this perfectly clear. Go to hell. We're doing the show because we love America. This is all we have to give you for tonight is this evening. If I had to, I'd give my life readily for this country. You guys who are out there, we're going to find your ass. God bless this country. God rest the sorry son of a bitch that did this. We will find. You see, Wapple's trying to get me to Hulk up. Of course, today's 9/11. 23 years ago was one of the most surreal experiences we've ever had in this country. If you were alive and aware, you know everything that I'm talking about. And that night, the WWE still put on their episode of SmackDown or Raw or whatever the hell it was. And that was John Bradshaw Layfield. Beautiful, big, fat bastard that he is, JBL. When he came on that night, each of the celebrities, each of the wrestlers, well, not all of them, some of them couldn't speak on camera about what had happened earlier that day or the day before, whatever the situation was. During that episode of Raw or SmackDown, the wrestlers who did feel like talking just spoke their feelings into the camera, and they ran it, and that was JBL. And I remember that like it was yesterday. By the time he was done speaking, I was somehow shirtless. And when my ex-wife walked into the living room, I dumped her on that stack of dimes she calls a neck. I gave her the stunner. I was so pumped after hearing what JBL had to say. I remember that like it was yesterday.
I still get goosebumps listening to it.
Me too.
Wapple's
So
trying to get me to Hulk up over here.
I just cranked out 40 push-ups.
Yeah, you did.
To it.
All right, let's get through this here. Because we got Josh's news by damn coming up. The Twins needed that one last night. They did. They got the dongs out. Wallner, Farmer, Carlos Santana, and they beat the Los Angeles Angels 10-5. Now let's get something going here. Let's get a streak of wins here.
We need it.
Let's go. Let's get some runs on the board. The offense has just been, maybe last night will be that springboard. They go again tonight with the Angels. Zebby Matthews on the bump. Randy Shaver and Brad Wright are going to be here in a half hour to get into greater detail. Till then, we'll stick around, hang around for Josh's news coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930. Now ran by his granddaughter, Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
The whole idea of what a house is worth is actually subjective.
New episodes available every day.
I've heard a lot of people who are starting to move into flipping because it really has good margins in today's market.
Whether it's real estate, on the market, rookie, or money,
I do think that mortgage rates will come down.
The Bigger Pockets podcasts are on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Morning it was. Not a cloud in the sky. About 8 o'clock, American Flight 11 was fully fueled. It was bound for Los Angeles. It left Boston Logan Airport.
This is Boston. I turned American 20 left and I was going to climb him. He will not respond to me now.
Looks like he's turning right.
Traffic controllers lost contact.
I don't know. I think we're getting hijacked. First class galley flight attendant and our purser's been stabbed. And we can't get a cockpit. The door won't open.
As we've been talking about throughout the morning, today is Patriot Day, a time to commemorate the bravery shown during the 9/11 terrorist attacks, which claimed nearly 3,000 lives, now 23 years ago, believe it or not. It was the largest act of terrorism in the U.S., leading to stricter airplane security measures worldwide. The day honors the first responders who courageously risked their lives, with a special remembrance for the 411 emergency services personnel who perished trying to save others. Most casualties were in the Twin Towers, particularly on the floors above the impact zone where people were trapped. On Patriot Day, the U.S. observances We'll have a moment of silence at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, the time of the first plane crash, while lowering flags to half-mast across the country.
Well, it's always a tough day.
You know, and people will text in and say, hey, I was listening that morning when it happened, and we were right in the middle we were about to talk to the band live. And
we were about ready to talk to the band live, famous for lightning crashes and this and that. Sure, I remember that.
They were sitting in the studio, we were ready to do the interview, and then all of a sudden, we used to have the TV on in here, and we see the plane crash, and we see the reports, and then obviously it starts to sink in what's happening.
I was such a dope. It took me so long to figure out what the hell was happening, but I was so tuned out at the time to anything.
Yeah, you didn't
political,
think about that.
anything.
Me neither.
I wasn't aware that we had such enemies. I was totally taken by surprise, or that they would have the ability to get away with something like that. So yeah, it was. I was completely in shock just because I couldn't even fathom something like that.
Yeah, it took a while to realize this wasn't just a terrible error or a mechanical failure.
Yep.
New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu performed the Heimlich maneuver on a choking contestant at a lobster roll eating competition over the weekend.
Well, it's kind of part of his duties as governor, right?
Yeah, to hang out and save lives.
Yeah.
And impressively, the man who he saved went on to scarf down 7 more rolls even after he nearly died.
Yeah, I think I would have called it quits at that point.
Dana, you're one of the more competitive people I've ever met. You'd still go.
Yeah, I might.
Is
For
that
the
right?
love of the game.
Yeah.
The sumbitch was near death, and as soon as he came back to, he started woofing down more lobster rolls.
Yeah, he did.
I guess I can respect that.
Video from the Hampton Beach lobster roll eating competition shows 26-year-old Christian Moreno on stage, signaling his airway was obstructed, but nobody around him catches on.
The gentleman at the far end, who I was kind of watching, I could tell very quickly he took a pause. He was having trouble getting something down.
Then suddenly it was Governor Sununu to the rescue. As he appeared from backstage out of nowhere, wrapping his arms around Moreno and lifting him into the air as he performs several abdominal thrusts before EMTs rush in and finish the job. Once the rogue bit of meat was dislodged from his windpipe, Moreno soldiered on unfazed, later admitting he had no idea his fast-thinking rescuer was the 49-year-old governor of New Hampshire.
I started saying, he's joking, and I could tell people weren't responding, so I just moved forward and immediately started to kind of give him the Heimlich. He went right back to the contest, which I couldn't believe. He ate another 7 lobster rolls after that.
My counter came up to me and made a joke and was like, oh, I bet nobody else can say that they've gotten a Heimlich from the governor before. I looked at him and was just like, that was the governor?
Although it was his first foray into the world of eating competitions, Moreno said it wouldn't be his last. Sununu's act of heroism came just a day after his mother passed away at the age of 85. What a nice way to honor her.
I'll be damned.
I like how the counter was just kind of sitting behind him like, all right, dude, come on, get that one down. Come on. And then the governor jumps in.
So the governor, is he running for office again this year?
I don't think he is. I don't think he's rerunning, but I'm not.
If he was, how quickly would some internet clown call this fake?
Oh, yeah.
Or, no. He wasn't trying to save him. He was trying to kill him. Yeah.
Or their next tagline would be, Sununu saves lives.
I'm not following that.
Because he saved the dude's life.
What dude?
When he's running for governor.
Yeah, what dude?
The guy who was choking on the lobster roll.
What lobster roll?
Then he ate 7 of them.
What story did you just hear?
What am I hearing?
Dana, give him the Heimlich maneuver.
Get over here, buddy.
Waffle, he's choking. And we're not helping him at all. We're making it worse. Here at home, a Minnesota trooper and some Good Samaritans helped pull a motorist from a burning vehicle Monday morning on a busy Twin Cities interstate. Traffic cameras showed an SUV drive off the Interstate 35W in Roseville, hit a light pole near County Road C just after 9:20 a.m. Video showed people working to free the driver as heavy smoke and flames poured from the SUV's front end. They pulled the driver from his car just seconds before it went up in flames.
Maybe another 10, 20 seconds. I think that fire probably would have gotten to the driver. The first thought that came to my mind was just, we got to get this person out of the vehicle.
State Patrol identified the Good Samaritans as a 59-year-old out of Inver Grove Heights and a 43-year-old man from Lino Lakes.
We came together not knowing each other, but just knowing there's two other people out there that are willing to jump in and grab hold of a situation like this is amazing.
The victim, a 22-year-old Minneapolis man, is expected to survive.
Whew.
Yeah, that video's on 93x.com. Crazy.
That was a close one.
It was. The right people were there at the right time. A Michigan man was arrested Monday after fighting fired with fire, leaving 2 women hospitalized in Detroit after the 60-year-old psycho, furious over his recent firing, retaliated against the women he believed responsible by dousing them in gasoline and setting them ablaze.
So I hurried up and jumped in my truck, drove up on the sidewalk and knocked him off of his bike. And once I did that, the 2 other guys caught up to him and tackled him. They held him down until the police got here.
The violent attack took place around 6 a.m. as the women arrived at their workplace. According to authorities, the man, armed with a lighter, doused the women with gasoline and ignited it.
To set someone on fire.
Police said the suspect had been an employee at the business and blamed the women for his termination.
He used to work here. About a week ago, they fired him because him and the ladies were arguing. He ended up getting fired, so maybe he thought that the reason why he got fired was because of them. He got up out of his bed to come here at 5 in the morning to light these poor ladies on fire.
Come on.
As you heard earlier, a couple of bystanders chased the man down, roughed him up a little bit, and then detained him until officers arrived. Both women were taken to the hospital with serious injuries, while the man was also hospitalized with minor injuries.
Good.
Just put him to sleep.
A fire that rapidly scorched more than 5,400 acres in Orange County, California, was accidentally started by public works crews performing fire safety work.
Oh, nuts.
Meaning the fire started while they were trying to prevent fire. The airport fire started about 1 p.m. Monday in the canyon and spread quickly in hazardous weather, leading to the evacuation of more than 1,400 homes and triggering response by more than 1,000 firefighters. It began as county public works crews were moving boulders to prevent public access, mostly by motorcyclists, to an area of the canyon with lots of dry vegetation which could easily ignite. And that's exactly what happened. The workers tried using multiple extinguishers on the flames, then called 911 when the flames got to be too much for them to handle. The airport fire was estimated at about 5,432 acres just before 10 p.m., hours after it started on just a few acres of dry hillside brush. 2 firefighters were treated for heat-related injuries, 1 civilian hospitalized for smoke inhalation. Also in California, firefighters from the Modesto Fire Department found themselves facing not just the flames of a vegetation fire, but also a buzzing secondary threat, thousands of bees. As the crew raced to control the blaze, the intense heat sent swarms of bees fleeing from their burning hives. The department's social media post described the scene. Firefighters were met with not only the blaze consuming grass and bee boxes, but also large swarms of bees, which complicated their efforts, the post read.
The bees are going to assume it's our fault and come after us.
Yeah, that's what they thought.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys burning our houses for?
Right.
Photos showed trucks blanketed with the bees, turning their firefighting tools into buzzing hives. While a few firefighters experienced some stings, no major injuries were reported.
You'd hear me screaming like a child.
Yeah.
Someone threw away a perfectly good naked guy in Washington State. The bizarre saga began in the most unconventional of ways. Deputies found a 30-year-old man snoozing in a stolen F-550 with his girlfriend and young son. What should have been a routine stop quickly spiraled into a full-blown fiasco. As deputies tried to make contact, the man decided he'd rather keep his freedom, evading them not once, but twice. Undeterred, police set up containment and did a felony stop. The son, probably the only sensible one, calmly exited the truck and went with deputies. But the girlfriend, she stayed in, yelling something about getting dressed. And that's when things got nude. The man sprung out of the vehicle completely naked and sprinted off into the distance, leaving deputies and common decency behind, his manhood flopping furiously as he fled. He managed to leap over a few fences before vanishing from sight, forcing deputies to bring in canine Bronco to sniff out the elusive, bare-bottomed bandit. It wasn't long before the heroic pup tracked him down to a backyard where deputies finally found him hunkered down, nude, in a garbage can.
Man.
Glamorous.
Yeah.
glamorous.
Climbing fences naked, that's a risky proposition there.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I've seen some damage done to a beehole, and he was fully clothed. I can't imagine.
I told you the story about the gal I know that jumped over a fence wearing a skirt, and two became one.
Oh, that's just not right.
It happened. Get over it.
The Philadelphia Flasher's been found in Florida. Brevard County deputies caught 57-year-old Stephen Barrick, known as the Philadelphia Flasher, in his attic last Tuesday night. Barrick was spotted exposing himself and masturbating along a bike trail. And when deputies arrived, he fled on his bicycle, prompting a chase to his nearby home, where he ran inside and climbed into his attic. Eventually, he was talked out of the attic and placed under arrest. The best part of the story is what Sheriff Wayne Ivey said of Barrick, who has a criminal record going back over a decade with similar exposure charges, hence his nickname. This piece of crap goes all over Philly flashing his junk, then finds his way to our community where he gets arrested, is shipped back to Philadelphia to face charges, is let out of jail at some point for whatever reason, and then comes back to Brevard where he now has been arrested multiple times, Ivey said, before adding, and now yet another charge of showing his junk to citizens, quote unquote. The sheriff's office said over the last decade they've arrested Barrick on charges of drug possession, loitering, battery, resisting officers, and exposure of sexual organs, and they are tired of this guy. The Philadelphia Flasher wasn't the only fella found fleeing to a Florida attic. A 37-year-old learned the hard way that an attic is no sanctuary when you're on the run from both the relentless summer heat in Florida and the long arm of the law. Michael Allison, who had felony warrants out for his arrest, thought he could evade deputies by retreating to the attic of his home. When they arrived, they knocked on the doors and windows, identifying themselves and explaining their purpose. Allison, however, decided to sweat it out in the attic rather than answer. Didn't take long for the deputies to realize where he was hiding, and it didn't take long for Allison to realize his attic wasn't the best choice, especially as the temperatures climbed.
Was sweat just pouring through the ceiling of this house?
Oh, it was. Yeah, he got severely dehydrated. Yeah. Sheriff Rick Staley quipped, "The guy decided to try and hide in the attic during a Florida summer. If you're a criminal, there's nowhere to hide," from the sheriff's office. "I hope he enjoyed his attic sauna, but now he's in the Green Roof Inn." Evidently 30 minutes later and severely dehydrated, he climbed down from his ill-advised hideout, only to be greeted by deputies ready to book him into custody.
You ever go up into your attic in the summer, Josh?
Yeah.
And feel that?
Yes. Terrible.
Gross.
I was unaware of just how brutal that can be. I had a guy come over to the house a few years ago, and he had to get up in my attic, but only for a few minutes for some insulation issue or something that... anyway, he was only up there for a few minutes. This was in the summer. And when he came out of there, I mean, he looked like he was seconds away from death.
And
I said, "Dude, are you okay?" And he said, "What? What do you mean?" Because he does it all the time. That's what he does for a living. And I said, "My God, you were only there for 3-4 minutes." He looked brutal.
We need new insulation, and when we eventually do it, I'm going to try and schedule it on a nice, crisp fall day, just because I feel bad for them being up. I can't imagine how hot
Do what you
that
can.
is.
Yeah, do what you can to help them out, because that was shocking.
Before we go, this is the tale of how a turd turned into two 20s. A pair of Florida men are accused of selling a deputy's gun for $40 after the officer left his weapon in a gas station bathroom last week while taking a dump. A sheriff's office spokesperson said the deputy took off his gun belt and hung it on the railing while he was on his phone to pass the time while doing his business. Once he finished, he put it...
Bless you.
Oh, jeez. Part of your nose fell off.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I even turned off my microphone.
I know. It's natural. There's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Start over again.
So once he was done...
Wait a minute. Done doing what? Okay. After that, I don't remember anything that's happened in the last 20 minutes.
All right, so there's a deputy. He's pooping.
Oh, right.
He takes off his gun belt, hangs it up. He's on his phone. He gets done. Presumably, he wipes.
Yeah.
He had to put his gun belt on quickly because he had to respond to a call, and that's when he noticed his gun was missing when he got to that call.
Son of a bitch.
20-year-old derelict Amari Dennis and 18-year-old chucklehead Chance Byron found out by the gun sticking out of a toilet paper roll. They knew it was there, so they stole it from the gas station bathroom. Here's a possibly drunk lady with more of the story.
Did this? A convicted felon said he didn't want to touch it because he's on probation. So on surveillance video, deputies say it's Chance Byron seen leaving the store with a noticeable bulge showing on the right side of his waist.
Was she wasted?
Definitely. It has to be something like that.
She was very old.
You don't slur your words like that.
She wasn't that old, Wapple.
Yeah, she
wasn't.
was.
No, she wasn't. Not that old.
How old was she?
She looked kind of old.
I would think she's probably in her 50s somewhere. She just kind of had that look.
Well,
Detective said the two men sold the gun for $40 via Cash App.
$40.
Luckily, the gun was recovered, but not so luckily for the deputy. He'll face an embarrassing review by the department's Professional Standards Division. Obviously, you can't be doing that, but that poor guy.
Yeah, you just had to cut one, you know.
Yeah, one of those. And, he gets the call. He's like, oh, I got to get out of here. And left it behind, but obviously doesn't look too good. Just one birthday shout out before we get out of here, and it's a belated one to Alice, who turned the big 09 today. Hope it was a great birthday. Your dad let us know. That's from Red Wing Dorito Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver. That is the gentleman who showed me his butthole.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Slams this one to right center field. This one carrying back towards the wall, and that is gone! It kept on going out to right center. Carlos Santana pumping that arm. Little butt truck from the veteran Santana. The Twins indeed do punch back. A 2-out, 2-run homer. It's 8-4.
All right, hello, Randy Shaver, and hello, Brad Effin Ryder.
Morning.
Good morning.
Randy, what did you do with your day away from live broadcasting yesterday? What did you do? Did you sleep in?
I actually did a little bit.
Did you take up a new art or craft?
Oh, I'd be interested.
I did not, no. I have plenty of arts and crafts. I don't need any more.
What do you do around the house that's artsy-fartsy? What are you doing over there? Finger painting?
I am sculpting now. I'm into sculpting.
That's awesome. What kind of things do you sculpt?
I'd imagine like bongs and stuff like that.
Oh, big time.
Yes, Josh. I actually ordered a kiln. It'll be here next week.
That's awesome.
And I am into pottery.
That's great.
You're so full of garbage.
I thought Randy.
You and I are going to ghost it.
I thought Randy misses the news aspect of things so much already that maybe he spent yesterday breaking down the presidential debate minute by minute for us.
I know you'd like to, Brad Ryder, but we won't allow you to. I know you'd love to do that kind of thing. Brad likes to sneak in his little political stuff there now and again. Yes,
it's like the third time in 6 years I've done something like that.
That's too much.
Yeah, do you ignore that now, Randy, that you're allowed to?
Actually, to be honest with you, I did watch the debate last night.
You did?
It was hilarious.
Yes.
So much nudity.
That's hilarious. Picturing Randy Shaver sculpting, picturing you sitting in front of a pottery wheel. That's hilarious stuff.
When you have time like I do, and you have creative juices like I do, you need to find an outlet.
Would you say podcasting is your new hobby? I mean, they always say when people retire, they'll learn how to grill, or they'll have some sort of hobby that they have time for now. Woodworking.
Well, high school football in general has kind of been my deal this fall with doing this podcast that I do each week, and then also this pregame show that I'm doing on Game Time Media on football nights. So I've kind of been immersed into doing stuff that I love to do, which is talk about and cover high school football. So.
And you know what? We're proud of you and happy for you that you're doing something that you love, but man, do we have completely different ideas as to what it means to retire.
Well, you know what, though? Here's what I found, Nick. My days go faster now than they did when I was working. This is the truth. I am blown away at how fast my days go, even though I'm not sitting in an office and, doing what I was doing before. My days go I'll look up the clock and go, my God, it's already 5 o'clock. Where did the day go?
Okay.
And it's because you're doing things that you love to do.
Right.
And you forget about the time. You don't, it's just, I am doing things that make me happy, and because of that, my days go fast.
And I'm happy to hear that again for the second time. I'm very happy to hear that, and I've always heard that there's great benefits to keep the elderly busy. It benefits.
No, I'm with you. When I decide to leave this full-time gig, I'm going to do other things. I'm not just going to sit around. And just in the last week or so, I kind of picked up something else that kind of adds to that. I'm not going to talk about it, but there's things that I'm kind of thinking about doing, and then kind of I'm serious. I'm kind of setting up for doing kind of like what you're doing, Randy. You're not going to just not work or not do anything.
Well, I know, but what I was laughing at is why won't you tell us about it?
Because it's not like official yet, but
ASMR.
Yeah, right.
So, Nick and I, we have retirement plans that kind of coincide. They're a little bit different. Like Nick, he'll, of course, be bellied up to the bar at the American Legion. And my job is just to show up there every few days and move him from stool so he doesn't get bed sores.
Yeah. And
I'll just go check on him.
Well, Josh, speaking of, sitting on your ass and doing nothing, Josh has really helped a player out this morning by bringing in, for me, a hemorrhoid donut.
Oh, that's nice.
His butt gets sore sitting here all day.
And I don't have hemorrhoids, but I don't know what's going on as I get older. The longer I sit in this chair, my ass cheeks, my trucker butt just takes a beating on this chair. And by the end of our program, my ass hurts. And I've been complaining about this lately, so Josh brought in this big, puffy hemorrhoid donut. I'm sitting on it right now, and so far, by God, Josh, it's made a big difference, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, you look more comfortable.
Randy, would you sculpt something for us now that you brought up this sarcastic new hobby that you have in retirement? Would you take the time to sculpt? I know it's probably just going to be a big friggin' penis, and you'll put my name on it or something. But I would love to see what you could accomplish if you really put your skills to the test when it comes to sculpting.
I'll work on something.
Yeah,
something special.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can get the whole kit for like $40 on Amazon. The clay and everything.
And you know somebody's going to buy it because you're a somebody. So you'll make some money off of it. Josh was just recently saying...
Oh, no.
Josh was just recently talking about...
Do it.
I got to do it. There's an individual who used to work here who did some painting. Okay,
his wife did.
Oh, his wife did some painting.
Yeah.
And Josh, just because he's the nicest guy in the county, bought a piece of her art, and it was just terrible. But you did it anyway because
you put it on the wall. Yeah.
Did you actually hang it on the wall?
I did. Yeah.
Why did you hang it on the wall?
Well, just to be supportive.
Just in case dude ever stopped by with his wife?
Oh, I wouldn't invite him over, but yeah, just to be supportive.
Most folks, that's even going to another level. Most folks would have just bought this garbage art and then put it in their garage to collect dust. You actually hung it up.
But what if he asked me, did you put it? I couldn't lie to him.
Yeah, I put it in the garage. Oh, man. All right.
So that hemorrhoid donut.
God, it's comfortable.
I'm glad you like it. That's actually it was a gift to me from my stepdaughter for Father's Day. She thought maybe I'd like that, and I'm glad that she provided that because now, I'm doing just fine right now, but it's helped you out quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I used to be able to ride these chairs for hours on end, but now I've gotten to a point, I think
I'm kind of surprised you just don't stand up for a little bit of a show.
Yeah, I have to walk around every once in a while.
I never get out of my seat. I don't know.
I don't know how you could sit there for 4 hours or whatever it is.
I do a lot of standing away from this place, if that makes any difference to you. But,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I was born with trucker butt, and maybe as I'm getting older and the decades of sitting in this chair have ground it down even less than what I was born with, and now it's like bone on bone, you know what I mean? I don't have much back. So with time, I think I need a little extra something down there to...
That painting was brutal. All right, I'll get it out there.
It was really bad.
Really bad. And it cost far too much money.
Oh, no.
She was convinced she was some level of an artist.
Yeah,
and, that sucks. Sucks for you.
And I know nothing of paintings. But
Where is it now? Where is it now?
It's in my garage.
It is?
Yeah.
You're too nice of a guy sometimes, Cubby. By God, you are. Okay, we got a little audio there. in our intro of last night's ball game, man, the Twins needed to cut loose so damn bad and score some effing runs, and they got it done last night and got the 10-5 win over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the greater Orange County area, public and parochial. And guess what? You guys already know what, but I'm going to say it anyway. Guess what? The rally sausage is back.
Woo! That's what I heard.
Yeah, whatever
just last night, or
yeah, that's what I understand.
Kyle
Brad Ryder.
Farmer brought it back, right?
The rally sausage is back. I don't know why it went anywhere in the first place. Why did they get rid of it in the first place?
I think because they couldn't take it across international waters.
International waters.
Yeah, Brian, it had like dysentery or rickets.
The thing became so stank it just got up and walked away, probably.
Well, I'm happy to see it back. The rally sausage, the boys were trading it back and forth in the dugout last night, and they needed this bad. And now, I mean, just get on a roll. Mm-hmm. It's time for this club to get on a roll. And I know it's a tall order with so many bodies on the injured list.
It's really not so much now, I hate to say this, but it's really not so much now about trying to win the division. I mean, I think they'd love to. It's really more now about holding off Boston and Seattle for the final wild card.
And Detroit. Detroit's 3 back.
Exactly, Randy Shaver. I'm not talking about, trying to get the division title. If that somehow happens, obviously that would be terrific. I'm just talking about winning a few in a row, build up some confidence, put some space between themselves and the clubs chasing them in that wild card setup.
Because that's really what it boils down to now. They're 6 games back of Cleveland. The Royals are sitting in between the Twins and Cleveland in the division. It's not that it can't be done. It certainly can. But I think right now it's more about looking behind you and making sure that you don't give up the spot that you feel like you have secured. And Brad's right. Detroit's sitting right there, too. So the last couple of weeks are going to be every game's going to matter. Every situation's going to matter now because there's so many teams still in the mix for that final playoff spot.
What are we down to, 17 games left on the season?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And I took a peek yesterday just out of curiosity.
4 with Cleveland.
Yeah, at Detroit's schedule, and they play the White Sox a little bit before the end of the season, which is not good news either because they should be wins for Detroit. They're playing Colorado this week. They won last night. They got 2 more
that
against
should be
them.
a
They're
win
terrible, too, exactly.
Yeah.
So they are not going to go away. The Twins are going to have to earn this.
By the time we talk to Dick Bramer next Tuesday, they'll be at the beginning of that Cleveland series, right?
Yep. They got 4 in Cleveland, yeah.
Because they got the weekend with Cincinnati. Okay, so they'll close things out with the Angels tonight. The Angels are putting a rookie on the bump by the name of Jack Kakanowicz. Josh, what toppings do you use when you eat a Kakanowicz?
I stay away from mayo.
Do you?
Good call.
And this kid, I guess, has been pretty good lately. The Twins are going with Zebby Matthews, who hasn't been that good lately. Pablo Lopez was great. Isn't this great to see Pablo be the guy that we knew he could be? He had a tough first half of the season. He's been excellent since.
He really has. He's picked them up, especially with Joe Ryan lost for the season. It's been huge to see him and Bailey Ober step up and be those guys. But Lopez in particular, you're right. He was dominating yesterday.
You know what Rocco Baldelli said after the game? He said, no one can kill the rally sausage. He's getting the boys.
Do all right, Rocco.
He's getting them going now. Rocco's getting them going. That's what he does. And, one more note on the Twins. Well, at least on, how they're falling into place in the wild card and this and that. Again, if they somehow can win the division, that would obviously be glorious. But right now, I just want to see them get a little momentum, hold off Seattle, Boston, Detroit. Who else is in there? Is that it?
That's it.
Hold those clubs off. Make the playoffs. But what do I have to happen? This is the right way to say that. What has to happen to get them to play Baltimore in the playoffs?
They've got to. Well, as far as I see it, Baltimore's got to be the top wild card, and the Twins have to overtake Kansas City for the next wild card spot.
Okay.
Right.
Because who else is disgusted by the thought of playing Houston or New York?
Well, we would have to play Houston if the season ended today.
Okay, but just answer me this. It would just be disgusting. I would have diarrhea throughout the entire process if we have to play the Yankees or the Astros again. I want something fresh. I want something with Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I know you're all with me.
I'm not so sure I want Baltimore, to be honest with you.
Well, no, I'm not.
None of the three sound appealing, really. But,
I'm not talking about.
Don't, but I would rather play the Astros than play the Orioles in the first round.
I'm not talking about matchups. I'm just talking about something appealing, something new.
No, I get it.
All right, here's a text message from a listener. Is this true? I mentioned earlier Josh gave me his hemorrhoid pillow because my trucker butt takes a beating here while I sit in this chair and piss excellence. I got this text. Is this true, Josh? It says, be careful with that hemorrhoid pillow. Hemorrhoids are contagious.
I don't think so. He's thinking of laughter, which is contagious. I've seen the sign.
And what is this here about the rally sausage? Someone texted in about the rally sausage. Let me see if this is someone. I found a text message that led me to believe that someone was going to be critical about the rally sausage.
I think they were critical about the skipper.
They're critical towards Rocco?
Yeah. If it's the same text we're thinking of, there's a couple of them.
Stop talking trash about my guy Rocco.
He said the rally sausage is a better leader. And then the rally sausage doesn't like the band Fish, but Rocco does. I think that was a criticism as well.
I like Rocco. I don't give a rat's ass.
Rocco!
You people are dicks.
Could never make me hate him.
No. Ashley and I are Rocco for life. You know, I was reading more about Carlos Correa and his plantar fasciitis problem.
Yep.
Boy, does this stuff sound painful. Just sounds brutal. And I know we've talked about it before and had listeners text in saying, yeah, I had that. It hurt like a son of a bitch. Again, there appears to be some progress going with Carlos. And he said, you might see me playing baseball again very soon. I certainly hope so. I hear he's been sprinting around Target Field before games, as part of warm-ups. But he said he received a treatment recently that was so painful it would bring tears to his eyes, but it's working. Every time I hear about this plantar, whatever, fasciitis, boy, it sounds... But I know a thing or two about foot pain. I'm a gout sufferer, and that'll bring you to your by God knees. You'll pray for it to end. Gout hurts so badly. So Carlos sounds like he's going through some things, boys.
Yep.
Anyone ever had? Anybody who's had this problem? I swear to God, last time we brought it up, we got text messages on it.
No, I just know whenever any athlete gets it, they always say, well, it'll be a few weeks, and it's more than a few weeks all the time.
Foot problems. Sucks. Now, this is a gimmick that I don't think I've heard before. The Twins brought up 4 Class A pitchers up here into the cities, specifically to throw, live, real baseballs at Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, and Manny Margot, as opposed to the pitching machine and the your 69-year-old bullpen coach or whoever. You ever heard of that before?
No, but it makes sense only because if your Class A team is no longer in the playoff position or anything like that, you give these kids some extra work against Major League hitting, and you give Buxton and these guys a chance to face live pitching without being in a game scenario, too. So,
yeah, just to get them. The theory is, I forgot about the Strudel Kepler. The theory is it'll get these guys ready to play real baseball quicker. So,
they would even back like 20 years ago when I was working for the team, they would bring up guys from the minor leagues after the minor league season would be over, not add them to the roster, but have them throw regular BP to everybody.
Oh yeah, so you've seen this thing before, Brad?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. So these,
I mean those 69-year-old bullpen guys. By the time you get to September, their arms are for batting practice.
TK with a cigar hanging out of his mouth and the Zubas, that gets a little old by September.
Yeah.
TK throwing a 42-mile-per-hour fastball at you with a cigar hanging out of his gap. Yeah. So these 4 kids from Class A, they're Kleber Maldonado, Jack Noble, Spencer Bengard, and Jordan Carr are up in town. And I bet you, Josh, you can find one or all of them at Rick's Cabaret every friggin' night that they're in town. If I've been spending all summer in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and they bring me to Minneapolis, and I'm a budding professional baseball player, I'm going to Rick's Cabaret, and I'm wearing my uniform. What a life. Here's a listener texted in and said, I had my plantar fascia tendon removed. Do you want me to text you a picture of my foot with the stitches in? No, but Randy Shaver would like to see it.
Please send it to Randy.
He will make a sculpture of it.
I would like to sculpt it, yeah.
Here's another listener. I'll try anything 4 times Jesus. I have plantar fasciitis. We were talking about how painful it sounds. You know, when I hear the stories about Carlos Correa's treatment, it just makes me cringe. So I'll try anything 4 times Jesus says, I have plantar fasciitis. The tendon or whatever it is on the bottom of my foot gets as hard as Dana at an arcade.
That's pretty hard.
That sounds awful.
That's not a visual I want to see.
That is not a visual I want, no.
I disagree. Is it before you walk in or once you cross the threshold that it begins?
Once I hear once I see the lights and I hear the sounds, then it's just
That's when it happens.
Oh, here we go. See, I know somebody who has... I just got a text from my homeboy Sam from the Wyzetta Legion. His wife had plantar fasciitis. For 2 months, it would drop her to her knees when she would get home from working as a bartender.
Oh, on your feet that whole time? Man.
Yeah. Hey, what up, Sam? Goofy bastard. I had forgotten about that.
That and shingles are 2 things I do not want.
Oh, dude, my dad had shingles. It was miserable.
I hear it's a lot of laughs. That's what I hear.
Wasn't for him.
Nothing but laughs.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding you. It scares me. I mean, that scares me. I keep hearing stories about shingles. Here, Sam's wife would be limping into the Legion. I always thought it's because Sam brought so much heat.
Oh, jeez.
But she had plantar fasciitis.
If I was Sam, that's probably a rumor I'd start, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
I'd bring that up.
Without a doubt.
Well, you know what it is, right?
His wife, Lindsay, they're nice people. Thanks for texting in, Sam. See you on Friday. All right. Man, I found some funny NFL-related stuff the last couple of days. Memes, I think, is the term. You ever look at, Wapple, do you look at memes?
Oh, a lot of the times.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Memes.
That's where Wapple gets his news.
Yeah.
He calls them memes, though. Hey, look at this new meme I saw.
Tell me what you think of some of this stuff. It's pretty funny. Poking fun at NFL-related this and that. Here's a pretty picture of your guy, Randy Shaver, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
From last Sunday, he's got his suit on. He's got the mic in his yap. You know, his first game as a broadcaster for Fox Sports. And the headline is, finally, something Tom Brady sucks at.
Oh, geez.
Picture of, sorry, I took too big a hit. Picture of Baker Mayfield with the Tampa Bay Bucks, looking like he knows what he's doing. And the next picture is of Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson, who we're going to talk about here in a minute. The next picture is Deshaun Watson sitting on his ass on the ball field looking dejected, and it says, Baker Mayfield magically, I'll get there, Baker Mayfield magically becoming better than Deshaun Watson is truly something that could only happen to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because that was how it played out, right? They gave up on Baker Mayfield.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
The next meme is a picture of a moron Philadelphia Eagles football fan losing his mind at a tailgate party or something from that game in Brazil, right? And it said we had one chance to make a first impression in Brazil, and we chose to send Eagles fans.
And Packers fans.
Right. I forgot about the other team that was there. Karen. We're going to talk about Karen here in a minute, too. Karen Rogers. Have you guys noticed this? So this picture, Karen is looking confused in his Jets uniform, and he's looking into a television camera from the ball field. He's out on the field. And it said, why does Karen Rogers stare into the camera when something goes wrong like he's on an episode of The Office?
It's true, too.
Yeah, he does have that.
Uh-huh.
He knows where the cameras are.
Oh, yes, he does.
And finally, maybe you'll enjoy this. Maybe you'll tell me to shut my yap. This is a side-by-side comparison of Giants quarterback Daniel Jones and a 4-piece McNugget Happy Meal from McDonald's. Side-by-side comparison, okay? It says here, Daniel Jones doesn't throw touchdowns. A 4-piece McNugget Happy Meal from McDonald's also doesn't throw touchdowns. Daniel Jones can't read a defense. A 4-piece McNugget Happy Meal also can't read a defense. And finally, the comparison says here, a 4-piece McNugget Happy Meal from McDonald's makes people happy. Daniel Jones makes people sad.
He does.
I choked on my own laughter when I saw this.
There were even some Vikings saying, after a while, we kind of felt bad for him during that game.
That does make me feel better that I wasn't the only one, because I did feel kind of bad. And then when that video came out of him being heckled by the fans as he was leaving the stadium, I couldn't even watch it with the sound on, because I was like, the poor guy.
That's the lock of the decade. Take the Washington Commanders minus the 2.5 this week against the Giants. The Giants are terrible.
Yeah, you're probably right, but we don't want to hear your gambling problems. You're probably right. More people texting in on plantar fasciitis. Yeah, stop. Some of you get antsy. I know a lot of Twins fans get antsy when a player stays injured for too long. He's always injured. That's the number one. But give this guy, here's a listener who says, I had plantar fasciitis so bad I couldn't walk for the first hour of every morning for almost a year.
Oh,
Jeez.
man. Oh, sorry.
All right. Further NFL stuff for you guys. Is there a game tonight? There's a game every night now. Is there a game?
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Tomorrow.
This evening.
Thursday.
I can't wait. Oh, tomorrow. Come on, Thursday. There's no real point to this. I don't know. Just in case, I don't know. Maybe someone has a good tailgating story. It says, we already know that everything connected to going to a live ball game is wildly overpriced these damn days.
Oh, yeah.
This latest article is who has the most expensive tailgate situation, and it all comes down to parking, of course. What is this? Some of these ballparks, you're handing them over $200 in trade just to park.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insane.
And that's a big part of it. So I don't know. I mean, there's no real need. We all know it's insane, the cost of every damn thing connected to a pro ball game. So here you go. The San Francisco 49ers have the most expensive tailgate situation. The cheapest is, I don't know, the Chiefs, I guess. Whatever.
Tailgate parties are like boats and pools. You don't want to be the person that runs or owns it, but you want to know people that do. And you can just show up, hand them your $20, and have all the Bloody Marys and hot dogs you want.
But how about I don't hand them $20?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever paid to be at a tailgate.
The Vikings were 16th on the list.
Yeah.
Total cost, they say $195.84.
Jeez Louise.
And parking is probably half of that?
I'd imagine so.
What a joke. Okay. Uh-oh. New allegations against Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. And folks are once again calling him to be banned from the league. What day is it today?
Wednesday.
Monday, a sexual assault lawsuit was filed against Deshaun Watson, and that adds to the 20-some allegations of sexual assault and or misconduct that we've already heard about. The latest allegations are ugly. Football fans are referring to him as pure evil and a legitimate psychopath. At least the last I looked around the godless internet, I didn't see that the Cleveland Browns had said anything about this yet.
They said they're this typical. We're aware of it and we're investigating.
Are they gathering more information? Yes. So there you go on that deal. I saw him on television the other day. My friggin' wife was watching she likes to watch those couples wandering around a house while the realtor tells them what's what shows.
Sure.
HGTV.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to take your word for it. There's multiple shows like this. I don't know why why did she? And the couple says, "Oh, that's nice." And then coming up next, we'll check out another house. I don't get it. But anyway, she's watching one of those shows. And Deshaun Watson was on there with his wife or something? I don't know.
I think those shows are popular because everybody's done it. You know, I mean, most everybody has bought a house or done something like that. So I think that there's a little relatability factor there.
Well, sometimes you kind of wonder.
You like that stuff, don't you, John?
Not as much as I used to, but you're right. Like when we were looking to move, we'd watch it a lot. We kind of wonder, like, I've been unemployed for about 4 years now, and my wife's going through a tough time. She hasn't worked in 2 years. We're looking to buy $1 million mansion. It doesn't make any sense to me. The math doesn't work out on a lot of those shows.
I always catch myself, like, when they're showing mansions, I'm like, oh, I would never get that one. Like, look at that bathroom. That's tacky. Like, yeah, that's not even in your price range, Ashley. It's never happening anywhere.
The truth is you'd live in the furnace room of that house. If
Exactly.
I like the lottery show where they win the lottery and they go out and that one.
Oh, that host is cool. I like that guy.
Oh, well, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, he's a Minnesota guy.
He's from Wayzata is where he's from.
Is he really?
Just to be clear.
Now, you usually
I thought he was from Dassel or Cokato. Seriously.
He went to Wayzata High School. What's that?
Yeah, I thought he was like a more of a outstate guy.
Yeah.
You usually hate that he's from Minnesota gimmick, but if he's from Wayzata,
That's different.
Oh, it is different.
Because it's the greatest town that we have in this entire state, so that's different. I think my again with the friggin' wife. Why do you have to bring her up, Josh? Have you met the woman?
I've known her for 2 decades.
Okay. I believe the dude from that show, I think he was in my wife's grade. Is that how you say it? In her class.
That works.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that show too, Brad. I was going to bring that up. Recent lottery winners go house shopping.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool.
You like that program?
I actually do, yeah. I like that show because everybody's dreamed of winning the lottery, right? So you can kind of put yourself in one of those people's positions, and I think it's a relatable show a little bit.
Yeah, I like that David Bromstad.
He's funny.
Yeah, he is.
Wayzata. All right, well, you watch this show, Brad Ryder. Netflix announced an Karen Rogers docuseries.
Nope.
Wolf.
I might tune in just to see an episode and see what it's like.
It's called Gas Bag.
No, it's not.
No, it's called Enigma.
I believe in the power of prayer and intention. And from the first night this happened, hours after that, I was surrounded by a bunch of really special people in my life. And we just laid down a lot of prayers.
Shut up.
It was kind of tough to hear him in the clip. He had a tinfoil hat on, and it was covering his whole face.
Right.
Recorded in a dark room.
No, I won't have anything to do with that, and I just cannot wait for that guy to go away.
Yep.
The Vikings gave defensive tackle Harrison Phillip a 2-year contract extension.
That's great.
It's a great thing. Not only is he a fantastic player, but he certainly does a lot in the community. He's really I think he's a great example of what professional athletes can be if they want to, and how they can impact people, not just on the field but off. He really is exceptional.
Well, I'm proud of the guy. He's making a lot of damn monies. And last year, he was a nominee for the Walter Payton Award.
Yep.
Maybe that'll come up again this year. The San Francisco 49ers will likely have to play without star running back Christian McCaffrey Sunday against the Vikings. Did he not? He didn't play week 1.
Nope.
He didn't, but Jordan Mason did, and he's just as good, man. That Jordan Mason had a great game.
Never heard of the guy.
He was awesome. Well, yeah, nobody had. Yeah, he was awesome.
I'd rather have him miss a couple members of their offensive line than one of their running backs.
It says here this McCaffrey has a calf injury. Last year, he was the Offensive Player of the Year. He finished 3rd in the MVP voting. Well, that's just too bad for him. You guys know that there's a Formula race happening in Minneapolis this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There is?
Yeah. I read about it last night. I didn't know anything about it.
Is it too late to enter?
Yes. What do you got? What are you going to drive?
Downtown?
What are you going to drive?
My 2011 Ford Fusion.
I would pay to see that.
That would actually be pretty funny.
You drive very fast, so maybe there's something to this.
Are you a fast driver?
A little bit, yeah.
What's the problem?
I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
It happens.
You are always in a hurry. You're a notorious sentence finisher. I thought you were going to jump in right there. And you speak fast. You're in a hurry. Everything's so. What are you in a hurry for?
I don't know.
Where do you have to be?
I have a bad brain.
Are you a worse driver than Ashley?
You're not one of those people that goes 90 on the
Oh,
freeway,
no.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know about that, but I see him whipping around the parking lot and stuff.
He killed a guy last night.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
That's too bad. Ashley, I've seen her cut off UPS vehicles and stuff before.
There was one time where Ashley and I left at about the same time, and I noticed her behind me on the highway, and I pulled off to go get a Gatorade at Bobby and Steve's. I was like, you know what? Like, I just feel more comfortable if she wasn't directly behind me on the highway right now.
and then 5 minutes later, you passed her.
She used to throw her underwear out of her vehicle. True story.
High school was weird.
And for a while, you had a Jason Friday the 13th like slasher mask in the back seat, right in your back windshield.
It's called role playing, Dana.
And then somebody stole it from me.
It's called role playing. There's a Formula race happening this weekend in downtown Minneapolis. I read a story last night that focused on all these roads that are closed and parking problems, but I wasn't even aware of it.
Levi LaValle's going to be there.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
What are you,
Aaron Colton,
that guy.
Who?
Aaron Colton. Have you heard of? He's a freestyle motorcyclist. We went.
Wait a minute. Levi LaValle, the snowmobile guy, is going to be driving a race car?
He's going to be on a snowmobile.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sponsored by Red Bull, so.
He'll be there. Aaron Colton. I saw Aaron. He was at a demonstration at a Shakopee motorcycle store. He was like 15 years old or 14. I can't remember. So young. This guy's an incredible talent. And I was talking to his parents about how much they spend just on tires for his motorcycles, right, for doing this freestyle stuff. And he wasn't even old enough to ride a motorcycle yet he was one of the best things I've ever seen on one.
That's insane.
So there'll be like side attractions, this LaValle and Colton. They'll be doing little games on the side.
Yeah. I think there's some like rally car drivers.
Okay, here's Red Bull Jesus says it's not a race. They're having a car drive around and other activities. So it's not a race?
Yeah, it looks like it's an exhibition.
This was supposed to be an exhibition. What the hell movie is that? Is that Rocky IV?
Yes.
Yeah, before Apollo Creed gets killed. Okay, so it's not a race. Sorry, I don't know anything about this. Someone call us. We don't know anything about this. But it should be a hell of a deal. Levi LaValle, huh?
Yeah, good dude.
That guy can ride
Heck yeah.
He can ride a snowmobile up and down. He can. This is a joke, right? That ray gun character from the Summer Olympics is now the #1 ranked breakdancer in the world.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like if I were to be voted homecoming king.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a joke.
Now I get it.
It sounds like an honor, but really it's a giant insult, and they're making fun of me.
Like back in the day when Howard Stern would have his listeners vote for the worst contestant on American Idol, just because they were the worst, because it was funny just to mess with the show.
So what is the end? What's the overall vibe on this character?
I don't know.
And what she did at the Olympics. Was it a joke? Was it what happened here? And now there's more jokes connected to this ray gun person. Was it a joke, or was she really expressing herself? How did she
I saw her do a couple interviews where she seemed legitimately hurt, but maybe she's still acting. I don't know.
Randy Shaver, do you want to hear the top 10 breakdancers in the world today?
He can name them. You don't need to tell them.
I could really care less, but go ahead.
I don't have it. I was joking. I just have that ray gun is #1.
We've mentioned before, we used to work with a gentleman who was a breakdancer in his youth, and he went by the nickname Trick. That was his breakdance.
How did he spell it, Cubby?
I forgot. How did he spell it?
It was just T-R-I-C.
T-R-I-K. Oh, there was no...
T-R-I-C.
Oh, nice.
Word.
K would have been cooler.
The Los Angeles Lakers will honor Jerry West, number 44, for all 82 games this upcoming season. They're going to wear a band with West jersey number 44 on the left shoulder of their uniforms. Jerry passed away, in June at 86 years old. Randy Shaver, that's got to make you happy that they'll be remembering Jerry West all year?
It's only the right thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the man is the logo.
He is. 9 NBA final appearances, and he only won one of the sumbitches. Friggin' Boston Celtics.
Yep.
Mr. Clutch, they called him. You know, their opening night, their home opener is against the Timp Bell. Did you know?
At home?
Yeah, their home opener, the Lakers' home opener, is against the Timber Bell. In case you didn't know, coming up on October 22nd, from what I understand.
They'll be here before you know it.
Yeah. Folks texted in, they're big fans of this Aaron Colton, big fans of Levi LaValle. Yeah, we are too. I mean, I don't know Colton, but I've seen Levi many times, both from Wayzata. So,
even if I don't know that that's true, even if you're not really into that kind of thing, check him out. I mean, Aaron Colton, incredible talent.
I'm going to check you out because you're an incredible talent.
Oh, don't do that to me. Hey, speaking of talent, Randy Shaver, there's a couple people that want to thank you for a couple things.
Oh.
The Silver Lake.
Me?
Yeah, thank you. The Silver Lake Fire Department wanted to shout you out for Hoods for Firemen.
Yep.
And Two Pumps and a Squeeze Jesus said that your podcast is great. It's one of his favorites, and he loves looking forward to the games you talk about on Friday nights.
Well, I appreciate that.
Do you mind telling people again how they can find your podcast, what to look for? We get questions on that.
Yeah, you can
sculpt them. It's on YouTube. So all you have to do is just type in Shaver Prep Football Podcast or whatever if you go to YouTube. And then it's on Talk North. That's the mothership, Talk North. And, that's where you can find it. And then, there's Bean Pod or Podbean or something where you can find it too. But if you want to watch the video, because it is a visual podcast, it's on YouTube. And by the way, my guest this week is Matt Burke, who was fabulous. Very, very good. So
I've tried to see your show on YouTube, but then I run into an old Van Halen concert from 1981, and I'm
down the rabbit hole you go.
Or I don't know, Sheena Easton singing "For Your Eyes Only" from Solid Gold or something.
You'll put that on repeat.
Yeah.
Here's a clip from Randy's show.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to it. Spit on that thing.
This show's gone very popular.
Yes, that's a clip. That's a clip from my show. Yeah.
Very popular.
That would be a good get if you could get the Hawk Tua girl on your show.
I think she's too busy somehow.
Yeah, she's doing her own podcast.
I can't figure it out.
Randy, if you put the Hawk Tua girl on your show, I'm never talking to you again.
Oh, yeah, she did start her own podcast. What's she calling it? What was
Talk Tua. Stop. Please, everyone, stop. Hey, if you don't stop, I'm going to talk more about Ray Gun.
Oh, yeah, the Wayzata lady, right?
All right, any of yous. How many people we got here? 5, 6, 7? Next time you see the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, just thank him. Just say thanks. Because I read this morning that Ric Flair is responsible for talking Dwight Howard out of becoming a professional wrestler.
I was talking to Ric Flair. He said he don't know if my knees is good for wrestling. That's a lot of moving. I'd rather be with my kids. I've been playing for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's time for my kids, man. I got my dancing shoes. My knees feel good. It's just wrestling. We're talking about picking up 300 pounds. Nobody want to do that for their whole life.
Tom Brady's getting into commentating. Would you?
I want to do comedy. Yeah, I want to do some international stand-up.
Thank you, Ric Flair, for talking Dwight Howard out of becoming a professional wrestler.
Do you want him to talk to him about the stand-up comedy, too, or maybe?
Yes. Talk him out of that.
International stand-up comedy. I've never heard that said.
It's my favorite kind of stand-up comedy, the international variety. Anything goes.
Dwight Howard is going to be competing on this season of Dancing with the Stars. Who was the other person that we were just talking about? Not that
the gymnast from the Olympic team that helped them win the men win the bronze.
The dude with the glasses.
The pommel horse dude.
That's right, the dude with the glasses. Okay. It says here back in 20 plus 22, Dwight Howard tried out for the WWE. And the nature boy told him it wasn't a good idea. Oh, man, so there you go. All right, boys, we got to get going again, but we thank you for your time and energy and what are some other fancy words I could dump on the boys?
What about the mystery? Because Brad has something in the works.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to reveal it?
Brad's got something cooking. We got to find out what Brad's got cooking.
That's going to keep me tuned in.
Brad,
come back Friday.
I'll come back Friday. I won't reveal it Friday.
It's one of the most valuable tools in radio. It's called a tease.
Sure.
Oh, how tired of that did we get? We'll tell you after this.
Right. Brad, earlier, if you're just tuning in, Brad said he has something in the works for when he retires, but he doesn't want to tell us anything about it. So, yeah,
I'm not going to retire for several years, but I'm just saying once you stack up enough of these little things, then you feel like you can go do something else.
Money troubles, huh?
Yeah.
No.
It's too bad.
That's why I'm still married.
I'm looking forward to finding out someday, Brad Ryder.
Yeah.
Okay, Randy Shaver, we will talk to you tomorrow. Brad, on Friday. Thanks, boys.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text THUGS, THUGS, THUGS to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to Cypress Hill. This concert will be taking place Wednesday, September 18th at the Ledge. Prize provided by Ledge Entertainment. This keyword is good today, September 11th until midnight.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast, season 5, episode 4. This is Aqua.
The new episode opens with summer shenanigans at Crater Lake. What could go wrong?
Tom, was the lake super cold?
Yeah, that's a mountain lake when we do these underwater scenes and everything's crystal clear and everyone sees everything crystal clear. If any of you ever go underwater and open your eyes, nothing is crystal clear.
Nothing.
We have that slow motion underwater fight sequence. We can't see anything.
Good Lord.
Binge seasons 1 through 4 of Talkville before season 5 begins, wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, yeah. Where am I now? Is it 8:32 already, Josh?
Yeah, it is. Wow.
We're back. You're a great friggin' crowd out there. What's going on?
I just can't believe it's 8:32 already.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Even when you're not having fun, I learned right now. Even when you want to be anywhere other than where you are, time can fly.
It's kind of ironic, but as soon as you said that, Ashley, the fun kind of came to an end.
Screeching halt. I was having fun until then.
I was annoyed by that. You are our great crowd, and we appreciate you listening to our radio show. Great crowd. All right, Josh, thank you again for hauling in your old hemorrhoid pillow here to help me out.
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
So, do you need something on your bottom when you go on like longer road trips?
I don't go on longer road trips.
Oh, I started doing that, and it's kind of a game changer. Use a pillow or something.
Game changer. I'm tired of that. Wapple, this is a new development for me. This ass pain. I just want to be clear. Josh brought me in a hemorrhoid pillow, his old hemorrhoid pillow, to help me out. I don't have roids right now. It's just my lifelong battle with trucker butt has made it so sitting for too long in my little office chair here has become painful. My ass cheeks hurt. The last time I went on a road trip, a long one, Wapple, I suppose, was a year ago. Went to Chicago. 5-6 hours? Yeah. I didn't experience it then. It's a new development, Wapple, but I appreciate the heads up. What have you been putting under your tiny little bottom?
I use like a pillow or something.
A pillow or something?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, a blanket. That also helps. I like how you got ass pain, and it's not me for once.
You're calling yourself a pain in my ass?
Yes.
Air Filter Jesus texted into the program when we were talking about this earlier. He calls himself, he says he is also tragically assless. He went on to say, as my wife would say, I could be sitting on a pillow that is on a mattress that is on a pile of foam rubber, which is in a box of feathers. And my sorry, flat, bony ass will be killing me after sitting for 15 minutes.
Does switching positions help?
A little bit.
I'll kind of move to different quarters of my butt, like different times.
A little
seems to
bit.
help.
But see, you have cheeks.
But I don't. You say that, but I've been made fun of my whole life for having no butt. Like my pants coming down and belts don't necessarily do much.
You have cheeks. I don't even have ass cheeks. Yes, you have a tiny behind, Josh. Tiny, willing. But at least you have some meat there. I wish I would have been born with a big fat ass. I bet you folks with barrel asses can sit all day long.
Oh, yeah. They have to be able to.
What does a fake ass cost these days? Could someone look that up on the internet? If Dana can have fake squirrel hair planted in his skull, then I should be able to buy a big, fat, fake, round, delicious ass to hang off of my frame.
Butt implants.
Yeah, you talking butt implants or just something you can kind of put over your
butt implants, yeah, a fake ass. Yeah.
$9,800.
$9,800.
Yeah, that's the average cost. They say.
Wow. You should just get implants. I think that'd be close to half that.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that what he's talking
I'm
about?
talking about breast implants.
Yeah, just get breast implants, but have them put on your butt.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Boy, you could.
I'd like to see you walk around with a couple of double Ds back there.
You're a boob man. You'd follow me everywhere.
Heck yeah. How confused would I be if he's got a nice rack, but it's on his butt?
Yeah.
There's got to be some warped, attention-starved internet psycho who's done that, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Put boob implants on their ass so they can be on somebody's podcast. $9,800 is the answer on fake ass implants.
The Brazilian butt implants, right? Those are the ones that folks where they're just putting some great stuff in there. They're just injecting it with some sort of crack filler, so to speak. Blowing the butts up and then dying miserably.
I mean, you look at me every day, all day, don't you, Josh?
Luckily,
look at me.
yes, lucky
I
me.
don't have a lot of room to complain, do I?
What do you mean?
When you look at me.
Oh, not at all.
I don't have any room for complaint.
No,
but I was born with this teeny tiny little grade school ass. And it's starting to torture me. Can I build up my ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do some squats.
Mm-hmm. Squats?
I mean, you played a lot of hockey, and they're kind of known for their shelf butts, the hockey players. Women love hockey butt.
Yeah, that's what kind
Never
of
happened to me.
Yeah, that never happened to you after
Never
all
happened to me.
that leg work.
Well, I wasn't built for that. It's just I wasn't programmed like that.
Maybe you're a lost cause, man.
Well, I think so. I'm closing in on 53 years old. It's not like an ass is suddenly going to grow on me.
You know what? Maybe some yoga would do the trick.
I'm not going to do yoga.
Plus, you already have a wife, so, I mean, it's not like you have to try anymore.
Yeah, but she's not the only woman in my life.
Oh.
That's not true.
Wapple,
it?
Wapple, look at me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She's not the only.
Now I got it.
You know what I'm saying.
I think I bet that one a couple times.
Well, speaking of Wapple, let's fix his face while we're at it.
There's a lot to do there.
What could? How much is a nose job these days?
Yeah, look that up. If it's, you know what?
Like
Wapple,
a nose reduction is what I need.
If it's anything like I've heard some women complain about, just get big boobs and no one will ever see your face again.
A nose job can cost as little as $3,000, but it can be as much as $20,000.
What? Yeah,
I
you're-
wonder if it matters how much work has to be done.
Yeah, you're a 20,000 guy.
Yeah, I'm probably going to tip the scale at about 30,000. I'll
Right.
be like, what is this?
I wonder how many
schnoz?
times they got to break that horn before.
How many different places?
Yeah.
Has it ever been broken?
No, never broke my. I've never broken a bone in my body.
I had my nose broken for me quite a few years ago. I wonder how many different types of claw hammers they got to get out to bust up that schnozola.
Yeah,
Wapple.
we need the really big vice grip with the giant sledgehammer.
You know what? Maybe it'd be fun to get a plastic surgeon in here and have them pick us apart.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what they think we need done and then how severe it would be, the process, like for how bad off we are.
I would love that for you guys. I'm good, though.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't want to hate myself anymore.
All right,
Ashley, you are perfection. He's going to just pass right, he or she are going to pass right by you.
Are you satisfied with your bottom, Ashley?
Yeah.
Because the rest, I'm not. I'm not satisfied with mine. Number one, White Boy is texted into the show, and he's suggesting I get a pair of padded Spanx.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Have you? Anyone wore those?
Never worn them, but I've seen them.
Oh God!
They look
Somebody,
comfy.
I'm not sure who it is. Somebody within the household or maybe my stepdaughter, they ordered some Skims, which showed up at my house. Is that Kim Kardashian's deal?
Sounds right.
Don't they do something about the butts? I'm not sure what that's for.
So I just looked up another one that I could go for and like make my ears smaller.
Oh yeah, you hate your ears.
Yeah,
You hate
they're
your ears.
massive. And it looks like about $5,000 to get those.
Just become a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Oh,
after a year, after a year or so, their ears just turn into little herpes.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, just go sign up for Greco-Roman wrestling. It'll cost you, I don't know, $20.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm wrestling with the U of M team, just sitting on the bench. All right, guys.
Your ears are.
Is it worried about your appearance? Is that why you and Dana always dress like you're on the run? Have you noticed that? They'll wear the baseball hat and then the hood over it indoors.
It's freezing in here.
Yeah, I got this stupid fan above me, so it blows down my neck all day.
I have my hood up a lot, too, just because it's strictly cold in here. They dress like, what did you call it?
They're on the run.
Like they're on the run?
Like, I never know if I should turn Dana in or come up with an alibi. All right, what do we got here? What's going on? Who's after you?
A listener with a delicious-sounding name has texted in, and that's Soggy Truck Seat Jesus has texted in. And he has a question. We're talking about my flat trucker ass.
Someone also said, well, this is the half-ass morning show.
Well,
because we all don't have asses.
All right, so Soggy Truck Seat Jesus says, sent in a text about my twin brother. He's with your twin brother being a bodybuilder, is he cursed with the trucker butt too, or has he grown a big, beautiful ass? Good question, Soggy Truck Seat Jesus. He has a big, fat, round ass, but he has had that his entire life.
He's caked up.
He's had that his entire life. I doubt his bodybuilding must have aided it a little bit, but he's always had a big can. When I came out the chute, I was built the other way. No ass at all.
He took all of the butt that you were supposed to have.
That's what some would say. All right, well, I don't know. If a plastic surgeon came in here and critiqued all of us, we'd probably just, my God, will we be depressed when we walked out of the friggin'
I could take it.
You think so?
Yeah, I might even say, hey, I thought you were a plastic surgeon. Take a look at this. How'd you miss this one? Fix that.
Oh, $9,800 for ass implants. God, I'd look good with that. Other texters, listeners who have texted in, are pushing a cheaper remedy. Someone said Spanx, a perfect cushion memory foam type of a thing. This is to help here at work, something else I could sit on. Well, Josh's hemorrhoid pillow is working pretty well so far. So another suggestion would be the perfect cushion memory foam cushion, I guess. Okay? This individual sits all day welding, and they also are calling the cushion a game changer.
Oh, you might have to get one of these. These look super comfy.
Do they look nice?
Yeah.
I bet they'll soak up a fart.
Definitely.
Soak up a fart.
I don't know, Cubby.
Well, I'm glad that it seems to help. You're the first person to try that out. I was wondering how comfy that thing would be.
It's very comfortable. Very comfortable.
Did you just have one in case of emergencies, Josh?
No, my kid, she gave it to me as a joke for Father's Day.
Ah, nice.
Do a handful of squats every day, according to Diabolical Protein Farts Jesus.
Oh, no. Those can be bad.
Do a handful of squats every day, and you'll get a doink, he says, in no time. I don't think so. I've watched videos of those wrestlers doing squats. Honestly, I'm not trying to bring up dark things, but many, many years ago, I think Chris Benoit was on on a fitness show somewhere, and he talked about the benefits of doing squats every day, and the sumbitch would do 2,000 a day or something like that, right? It looked miserable, even without anything on his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, back to my twin brother, when he lifts weights, he squats, he's got, 2,000 pounds on his back, and he goes up and down. Even without any weight on your back, that looked miserable. I can only imagine the cracking sounds my knees would make with that repetitive action. I don't know. I don't know what I'll ever do, Josh. But at least for now, you've dummied down the pain a little bit.
That's all you can hope for sometimes in life.
You really have.
Have you thought of alcohol? Have you ever had an alcohol before?
What is that going to do for me?
It might numb the pain.
To numb the pain, yeah. Have I had an alcohol?
Yeah.
Yes, a couple of them yesterday.
Half-assed morning show.
Due to some sexual content, parental discretion is advised.
On 93X.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've been talking about my ass, as silly as it sounds. What I can do to maybe... I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? What do I want to do? Just, I guess, overall improve its appearance. Tired of dragging around this trucker butt my whole life, and now it's bringing me pain as I sit here in my little chair broadcasting. It hurts. Josh improved things earlier by bringing in his old hemorrhoid donut. I've been sitting on that all morning long. It helps. It does, and I appreciate it. I call it trucker butt. Listeners have texted in saying it's called oatmeal ass.
Oatmeal ass.
Never heard that one.
Said it happens to me when I'm riding my motorcycle for too long. That's back Dimples Sheezes. She gets a case of oatmeal ass. Or
I've heard pancake butt.
Pancake
heard
butt.
That before.
Bleacher butt.
Bleacher butt.
Sitting on bleachers too long will flatten out your ass, and then it hurts after a while. Here's something for you. Here's a list I want to make someday. These are supposedly, how did they put it? The most sensational celebrity butts, okay? I want to make this list someday. Sofia Vergara.
Sure.
Jennifer Lopez. Beyonce Knowles. Jessica's Biel. I haven't seen her in a long time. What does she do now? Just make babies with that singer? What's his name again?
Not sure.
Yeah,
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Is that who she's married to?
Aren't they a couple?
Yeah, they are.
Eva Longoria.
Right.
Delicious, wonderful, all-time celebrity asses. Maria Menounos. Megan Thee Stallion. And a couple of the pictures of these ladies, and my assumption is they're showing up at, Hollywood functions. They're not wearing any clothes at all. They just show up wearing no clothes.
Yeah.
A lot of see-through kind of stuff.
Yeah, do you know what it means to be Dua Lipa?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a crush on her.
She's very good.
Oh, yeah. She's gorgeous.
What about
Her derriere is divine, I must say. The Dua Lipa lady.
Okay. I'm going to look her up someday. Sierra?
Yep. Isn't that Mr. Unlimited's wife?
Yep.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Is that right?
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Did you see? Are you looking at the picture I'm looking at, Josh?
I don't know.
She's not wearing any clothes at all, and she's in public.
Somebody should tell her. How embarrassing.
There's no back to her outfit. No back. And there's fishnets on the bottom, and she's wearing G-string underwear. Just walking around town. Who else are these wonderful celebrity asses? They go ahead and they mention this Taylor Swift.
What?
I guess I never noticed.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't picture her on that list.
She has a nice butt. It's very, because she works out a lot. She has a very rigorous workout routine.
What'd she do that for?
How familiar are you with her routine? This is becoming disturbing a little bit. She rises at 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally, this is what happened because Twitter will if you read or open one tweet about something, they'll spam you with all that other information, and I accidentally liked a Swiftie tweet from her kind of cult following vibe, and now that's all I see. I know way too much about her.
I hear you. That can become a problem. Selma Hayek is mentioned here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, she has no competition. Hottest woman in the world.
As far as wonderful celebrity bottoms, Emily Ratajkowski. And who's the final? Someone called Carol G?
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Was Kim K not on that list?
No, I think they didn't.
Silly.
They didn't point out the obvious.
Yeah, because she's on every other list. Her and one of the Jenners. I forget which one.
Yeah, I think that whoever created this, some website,
they just thought that was a given.
Yeah, a given, or they're just burned out on the topic.
And Lanny Wilson's not on this list. Come on, that's debunked right there.
I don't know.
Kim Kardashian removed her butt implants, people believe, because her butt has shrank a considerable amount from what it used to be.
She had implants?
Yeah.
I'm not being facetious. I
didn't know that
I thought
either.
that was they were what people, that was their gift.
I'd never heard that
the
before.
Kardashian butt.
You sure she had butt implants?
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
send you some pics, too.
You send me some links.
Yeah, you got to check out Lanny Wilson, though. It's obnoxiously big.
All right, I don't know Lanny Wilson. What do I know her from?
Oh,
She's
the country singer?
Yeah, she's a country music star, and she was on Yellowstone, too.
I forgot you love her, don't you?
I absolutely love her.
It's a big one?
Oh, it's massive.
Now, let me ask you, is it something where you could predict? Because I was at a bank once, and the bank lady stood up, and I thought, my God, that's two different people. They cut the top half off one person and the bottom half off another. It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It does not make any sense.
I got to look her up, too. Who else was I looking up? I forgot. So, Ashley, are you the type of gal that checks out a dude's ass?
No.
Yeah? I'm happy to hear that. I never understood women's attraction to a man's ass, which is the filthiest place on planet Earth.
They're so hairy.
And
Right.
itchy.
Right.
So hairy.
I never understood that. Oh, he's got a nice ass. And I've always wanted to say, you should see that sumbitch without the pants and the underwears on top. You'd be horrified.
Mm-hmm.
We're greasy, disgusting gorillas. So I don't get that. I never understood the whole, ooh, nice ass on that.
Except there's one exception. Max Kepler.
I was going to say.
Something about his butt.
So when you're at a Twins game, you're not checking out dudes' butts?
Well, let me just say
him.
this.
I'm loyal to him, Dana.
First and foremost, it's disgusting that you objectify men's bodies, and I'm tired of women doing it. But what part of a man's body do you look at if you're not a butt lady?
Their hands.
Really?
Yeah, big hand girl. Yeah, I
For what?
something-
Any because of the connotation there, or you just like hands?
I think it's like then you can like imagine them on you, especially if they're like strong hands or just like clean hands. It's like, oh, I can see that like hand on my thigh or whatever where it would go.
I see where she's going with that.
So yeah, something about it.
And by the way, I also read when scouring this hot celebrity asses article, I also found out, it says here that Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro have worn padded asses in the movies.
For some reason,
So they look like they have a little more cake back there.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio gives me the vibe that he's got a pretty flat butt.
Well, he's a tall, skinny guy, right? Isn't he tall and skinny? Or am I thinking of someone else?
He's skinny. I don't know how tall he is.
I don't know how tall he is.
How tall is he? He looks tall in the movies.
Let's see.
It says 6 feet here.
Oh, yeah, he's tall.
That's I'll call that tall.
It's tall as far as I know. A few other people are saying, if 6 feet is 5'8". So, that's how it always goes, right?
Oh, yeah, they goose it a little bit.
It's all over the place.
Fair enough.
That means I'm 6 feet tall.
Are
That's
you?
great.
You're taller. You're 6'4".
At least.
Yeah, if you're going to lie, just go for it, man.
Wample, were you planning on getting to our Rock the River gimmick here?
Yeah, it was.
Well, why don't I take that off your plate?
All right, sounds good.
Take that right off. Yeah, crumple it up, throw it away.
Oh, you actually put it in your mouth.
Yeah, he's chewing on paper right now.
Knock it off. As much as I love physical comedy on the radio, I want you to knock that off before you choke on it. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text water. I'll be damned. The word is water. And you text that to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to this sold-out 93X Rock the River cruise coming up next friggin' Friday. It's sold out, but we still got a few spots left for you derelict bastards. Paddleford Riverboat's going to give us another little ride ski, and we're going to get into the beers, something fierce. Also, free food from Lucky's 13.
Yum.
Live music from Gel.
Also yum.
I found something out about Gel. I don't know if they're comfortable with me sharing it on the radio. About this is a special show for them. That's all I'll say.
Oh.
That's all I will say.
Really?
But a couple people texted in and said, did you know this or that about this Gel show on your boat? Maybe Gel, if you're listening, anyone in the band, email us, text us, let us know if you're comfortable with us sharing your secret. What else are we doing? Drinking and eating and listening and watching the rock band operate. The prize provided by Paddleford Riverboats, and we can't thank them enough.
This nice text came in for All Weather Roof. The texter said he worked there for 7 years. Today's his last day. He called it a great company and the best place he's ever worked. He's looking forward, though, to the end of his commute to the cities. He wants to be back home at the farm, which he calls his paradise.
Oh.
And that beautiful text is from Dairy Farming Sheet Metal, Banging Your Mom, Jesus.
The Half-Ass Morning Show.
Wait a second.
Sponsored by Rasmus.
Why would you do that to me? We'd be remiss, Wapple, to leave out a special thank you to any first responders listening this morning. Our thoughts are with you and, of course, the victims and families who lost their lives or loved ones during the 9/11 attacks 23 years ago. We've been talking about it off and on this morning, and we honor and remember those today on Patriot Day. Have a great Wednesday, brother and sisterhood. We'll be back live tomorrow morning.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.